Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Bob, we've got a job.
Good. KZ Excellent.
Catchphrase.
And Mr. Feel.
March the 10th be with you.
Here on GigaBoots.
We sit here recording this on Thursday, the day before Friday. Friday being the day we do our weekly massive streams of game playthroughs. Bob.
Yeah, what's up?
I do not envy me tomorrow playing God of War 1.
No. That's God of War 1. That's going to be dire.
I don't think we've ever done a themed month where the low point was the very first game we play.
Yeah.
I mean, you just did BioShock. Would you say that BioShock Infinite is worse than BioShock 1?
It's complex.
If you pack in the DLC, possibly.
Yeah, the DLC really did sour that. Like, I'm not saying BioShock Infinite is a fantastic game in and of itself, divested of the DLC, but oh boy, the DLC is basically the only thing my brain can think of.
Yeah, that second DLC, just being a sneaking mission, is so bad.
On top of all the story stuff it's doing.
Yes.
That was weirdly popular in 2013 because I think the DLCs for the Evil Within were both stealth focused.
Yeah, and there's some other game. There's some other game that neither of us are thinking of that also did a DLC that was all stealth, and I can't remember what the game was, but it was weirdly popular late 7th gen trend.
All of Lords of Shadow 2.
Oh, Enslaved.
The whole game.
It's Enslaved. Oh God.
Yeah, we also did that one.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, no. I can't imagine Ascension or the PSP ones being worse than one.
No, it's almost impossible.
One's pretty rough, but I still think it'll be a pretty enjoyable stream.
Yeah, it still does lots of goofy things, like making my Kratos grow.
Yeah, make my Kratos grow! Yeah, no, it's pretty good. That's an iconic moment in gaming where they're like, what's in the box? Him getting fucking huge. Oh, man.
Fucking fizzy lifting drinks are inside that box.
They're going to fly up into the fan. But yeah, no, I'm not. I don't envy having to play it, but I think it'll be a fun stream. But I'm just saying, God of War maybe a slight downgrade from what I streamed, solo stream last weekend. 30 hours of Gran Turismo 7.
Lord,
Gran Turismo 7 is really good. Let me spoil the spoiler cast if we ever do one. Now I'm giving it a 10. That is a fantastic game. The content is exceptional. It looks unreal. It feels perfect, and it honestly somehow is the number one use case now for a DualSense in my brain. Just because the feedback they give you on the haptic stuff for exactly what your tires are driving over, on top of each trigger acting differently because the left one's a brake, which feels different from an accelerator on the right, and the brake kicks like it would in a fucking vehicle. It's intense. It's insane. I want every racing game to feel this good on this controller. We need some more racing games to come out. I need more stuff that feels like this. The only way I could say Gran Turismo 7 could be better is Gran Turismo 7 should have a 120 frames per second mode. Am I disappointed that it doesn't? I think that's a little strong of a word, but I really hope someday they figure that out, because man, while it looks great in 4K, and it is a native 4K, 120 frames per second would look intense. Like, that would truly look absolutely insane. Yeah, I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I know Bob and KZ also played it. Bob, do you have a rough estimate of how much you played it?
probably like 5 hours or so, somewhere around that.
Okay, KZ?
That's basically the same.
Okay. You both did B license tests?
Right.
Yeah.
Just curious, because I don't remember the content all the way back then all that well. Were you forced to at that point in the game, or did they just recommend it?
I got to the point you were actually forced to, but the first time they tell you to go do it, you only do like the first couple. You don't need to go all the way through it.
Yeah, it's like the second cafe objective is just go in there, and then I could have left at any time, but
yeah,
I kept getting golds, and then we're on the leaderboards, and I'm like, well, they did it, so I guess I also have to get the golds. And then eventually I reached the point of, oh no, Bob no longer felt like he needed to either, but more than halfway through I should just do it. And then I did it, and I got through it. It took a while.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple of cars, and then the important thing happened where they're like, you unlocked circuits around the map to do. And I'm like, okay, I did one of those, and then I tried to do it, and they said you can't, and then I stopped playing.
Why did they say you can't?
They're like, none of your cars have the requirements to play the video game anymore. And then I stopped and played something else today.
You were like, I'm not going to go to shop to check.
And then I Googled it, and I got no answers as to why the game would work like this.
Oh yeah, they give you money, and then you go shop for a car to do the thing.
I mean, like 80% of the game is collecting cars, so I really like the motivation to constantly be changing cars out and getting new stuff.
Yeah, I bought like 4 more cars, and they still didn't let me play any of those things. And so I was like, I don't know what happens here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I mean, they highlight exactly what you need. It has like in the race says, oh, you need an FF car.
Or an FR car, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you need a they're like, you need a racing car, and then I looked in the used car lot, and none of them said racing car on the description at all.
KZ, did it tell you to get racing tires?
I don't know what they wanted me to get, Dan. There's 80 fucking terms in this game. I don't know what they want.
Yeah, but the whole structure is just go to the menu, and then they tell you exactly what you need and where you go to get it. So I'm trying to figure out how you got lost.
When you go back, just look at the top thing where the menu book is, and maybe it'll tell you exactly what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, because I had no idea, and I was like, can I customize my car? And I don't have any items. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll figure this out later.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. I don't know. Like it's been really fun playing this. I tried to make sure every time I talked about how excited I was for GT7, I tried to make sure I told people I am not great at Gran Turismo. But during the stream, I think it was 1 or 2 people came by during the total 30 hours or whatever. They were like, I thought you'd be a lot better at this game given how excited you were. And I'm like, no. Hell no. I got golds on the B license, the A license stuff. I feel incredibly accomplished. This is the best I've ever been at Gran Turismo. Even still, hey, Bob, you remember before the State of Play we did that race and I got like 5th place or whatever?
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I picked it up in 3 days, and that was my first try at that race.
Right.
In that car. That was the Monster Mobile. That race was a real pain to get a gold in.
Huh.
It took like, I don't know, 7 tries. The other 2 races in that menu book, which I'm on menu book 38 now.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty deep in, which I'll explain menu books in a second, because of course not everyone watched the State of Play. Yeah, that was actually a really hard race. It was really tight timings. It required something from me that I did not quite, I couldn't quite execute on,
Right.
But the other ones were really funny because the whole point of that set of races was you're going to use a rally car. You're going to use a car that can off-road. Here's the normal race. For some reason, the normal race, really hard. Here's the off-roading race. Got it on my first try, but I'm doing the quirkiest crap through the entire race to the point where Tosh is losing it because I'm flying through the air sideways and all sorts of other crap on this off-roading race. And then somehow I just barely pull first place out of my butt by like 0.6 seconds. I was like, yeah, I'm so good at this. And then I'm like, okay, there's this thing in the upper left. They had me do one like dozens of hours ago at this point. It's called missions. Did you do any missions?
No, I didn't see that.
I shit you not. Missions are just another way to say more license tests because it's so similar structurally. It's like, but these are quirky license tests, okay? So to explain to people who don't know Gran Turismo, the core of the game is you doing normal races. It's you doing these circuits, cups, championships, whatever, in the normal stuff. But at a certain point, playing through the game, it will require you to get a B license or an A license. And that's in a different menu. And that's the stuff that's hard. It actually makes you perform on that. It's like you need to master this hairpin turn and get it under this time in order to get it. You know, they'll teach you techniques like, okay, you need to do inside, outside, inside, or outside, inside, outside. And then it'll explain, like, you know, your little, like, deep learning generated human will tell you, hey, this is how this technique works. Okay, here's the idea of this trial. Okay, now good luck, sweetie. Missions are quirky though. They'll stick you in like a freaking bus. They'll go, okay, do this race. By the way, you have 17 horsepower. So if you brake too hard at any of the turns, you'll lose all momentum, and then you'll just go 1 mile an hour up the hill. It's hilarious. The missions really are just quirky for a lot of it. But yeah, that's I you know, it being more licensed test stuff. You know, it's fine. I enjoy the main stuff though.
I think it's neat that they found something to do with all those weird cars that they put in that are just basically unusable.
Yeah, historically, they've always put these weird cars into Gran Turismo. It's like the Model T.
Right.
The first Ford Model T, right? And it has a horsepower. Yeah, it's pretty cool that missions found a use for that. I'm trying to remember the name of the bus they had me drive, but they also had me drive another vehicle, a Peugeot vehicle that was also equally weak and could not do shit. We're having this you know, this white knuckle race at 39 miles an hour. It's embarrassing. But it was really good. It was really, really good. Absolute clown shit, the mission mode. But to explain the structure of this game, you have these menu books, which you get from the cafe, where there's this really nice man who's like, hey, here's the first menu book. Go get these 3 cars by competing in these cups and come back with them. And, you know, sometimes there will be a theme, you know, like compact cars from Japan.
Yeah, Japanese compact cars, and then he'll teach you about them.
Yeah, and then when you get those cars and you come back, he teaches you just a little history lessons on Japanese compact cars in the racing circuit, why they were so popular, et cetera, et cetera. And then eventually he's like, okay, go get these Porsches. And then I go to the cups and they're like, we only allow German cars. And I go, wait, Porsche's German? And it's only in the moment that I said that out loud that I realized that does sound like a German word. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I never knew.
What do you mean a Fiat is Italian?
Excuse me?
Now you're going to tell me Mitsubishi is Spanish.
The only reason I know Fiat is Italian is because of that King of the Hill bit where Dale thinks that Ford stands for Fix It Again, Tony, and Hank's like, that's Fiat, Dale.
God.
That's a really good joke. Yeah, I really appreciate how much damage American commercials mispronouncing distinctly Japanese names has done to identifying what country of origin of a motor vehicle has. Get your Hyundai.
Yes.
Hyundai? No, Hyundai. Okay. All right, sure. Yeah, I actually already did the Fiat menu book. But yeah, I've done 38 of them. Or I am on number 38, which means I've gotten a crap load of cars. An absolutely massive collection. I have approximately 16.5% of the cars in this game.
Yeah, look, there's like 400 something.
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
I like that it has a collector level. That you're literally leveling up just for having collected cars.
I also love when numbers go up. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, since each of these cups is basically giving you a car, and then that'll help you level up your collector level. When you click over your collector level, you get different things, like a new helmet, a new jacket, a ticket to roll for like a better, like for a random gift. You know, it pops up with 5 different things you could get. It could be money, shocks for a very specific car, or a McLaren. I got the McLaren.
That's good. I did 2 rolls, and both times they gave me the lowest money. I'm like, I'm looking at you. I'm questioning you now.
I hit a point with chat where the rolls I got were so good for like the first 10 hours. And then my luck dropped out completely, and I kept getting the lowest amount of money I could every time. Chat's like, it's gone, Dan. All the luck, it's dead. I'm like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, I got that McLaren. I'm never going to be bitter. Like the McLaren would have cost over $1 million. Oh, I guess I should talk about it because people keep asking me. This game had just barely been out, and I saw people in the fan Discord being like, oh, the microtransactions are scummy. This game's terrible. Guys, there is no world in which any human would spend money on this game. The price level they put these, like, because here's the thing. You can go to the PlayStation Store and buy I think it's 2 million credits or 1 million credits. Yeah, I think it's 1 million credits for $20. It's like, okay, so you want a supercar that you can only use in some of the cups, and it's going to cost you $40? Because there are a couple vehicles, like, you know, the insanely rare vehicles go up above $1 million. But, like, the game gives you a decent chunk of money, and there's a clean race bonus where you get 50% more credits for just not driving like a Drivatar would if Microsoft didn't nerf it. It was a very good postmortem, by the way, on Drivatars for GDC, where they were like, yeah, we got them to drive exactly like people's friends did, and then they all complained because all their friends drive like assholes. But yeah, you get like a 50% bonus for just, you know, driving normally, like not smashing into the side of a vehicle. And somebody was saying if you drive way off course, then it won't count that as a clean race bonus. I haven't checked that because either I'm doing a clean race or I'm just driving like a psychopath and ramming into the side of a dude to knock him out of the race permanently because his car's too good and fuck him.
Yeah, I wonder how people would immediately go, oh man, they have the microtransactions set up scummy. I'm like, did you just look at the prices and not at all any other part of the nuances of microtransactions?
Well, it kind of, nobody had played the game yet.
Yeah, I know. It's like you need to actually see them in action and feel the progression of a game to know if it's like a scummy thing that's happening here.
Yeah, this landed in the exact same spot as DMC5 with the red orbs, where it's just like only a homunculus would use money to buy these.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I feel like Gran Turismo has done it before, and I always just saw it as that thing of like, it's there for people who are just rich in real life and don't want to play the game. They want to make a car collection.
Right. And those people are real, and I guess good for you for servicing those crazy people.
Yeah, they just want to buy the car and enter the ray tracing mode and take a photo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's 100% some level of the fandom of this game. Some percentage of them don't even want to play it.
I guys, I let this game idle for a minute at the world map screen.
Uh-huh.
I come back and it's showing me one of the Gran Turismo cars driving blatantly through what is a picture. And yes. I just look at him like, what are you doing?
Yes, I forget what that mode's called, but they have a mode where they have pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah, pre-rendered. It's a picture.
Well, some of them are CG. Honestly, you might have mistaken a CG one for...
I think I've seen some of the CG ones too. Okay. But yeah, this was literally a picture.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. It's like
they edited around a tree and they like cut out little parts of it, not everything.
Oh, I thought
it didn't look perfect. Yeah,
it's like a photo from 1925.
I think they do something like that for one of the cutscenes or something. I can't remember, but yeah, no, it's really weird. It just makes like John Lennon brought up on Digital Foundry. It's like, this is how a game would look if it had pre-rendered backgrounds nowadays.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the things for this that has been hugely an improvement of these games since, like, I honestly would say that Gran Turismo 7 is so much better than all the recent Gran Turismos. It's the best one since 3. The load times are instant. Like, you get in and out of a race so fast. And that is really important because on the PS3 Gran Turismos, you would spend like 40 seconds waiting for it to load.
Yeah, it was not good.
It really kills the hype, you know? And it's just been so great. Like, I genuinely love this thing. They make everything super approachable. They properly like guide you through content because like they don't just give you every customization option in the mechanic shop immediately. They have different grades that unlock. You know, you look like your sports, and then your expert tier mechanic parts and all these other things. Every part at the mechanic has a button where it's like buy and then a button that says learn. And if you click that, they'll explain to you like, hey, these are shocks. They help with your suspension. Here's why that makes sense. Anyways, there you go. And it'll do that for everything, which is great because I don't know if GT3 had that, and I just sort of had to suss out what a part on a car would do.
Yeah, I also appreciate that they now have each car has a score, like the PP level.
Yes, the PP. You have to install some huge motor in your car so that way your PP's huge.
Yes. They maybe should have chosen a different abbreviation.
No. They're right to do it, and so was Pokemon. Yeah, no, it's really cracked out because eventually the PP thing becomes a thing they can limit. So then you're doing really, really, really super specific modifications to your car to make it as good as possible without crossing that line, right?
Right.
You're like, okay, what do I want more? More horsepower or better tires? How good of brakes could I get away with? And yeah, sometimes I made the world's dumbest, fastest missile, and that worked out for the first 20 or so hours pretty well. And that was great. And I don't regret a moment of that. But eventually, they really start sticking it to you when you get to the license A required content.
Right.
Where it's just like, but no, really, everyone else will also have a good car. And I'm like, oh, come on. I need to be able to win through the sheer strength of I bought a big motor.
Yes, I got a loan.
This is the worst kind of classism against the rich.
Exactly. That kicks in somewhere above 20 hours in. So, luckily there's plenty of content for people who are absolutely miserable at the game. Because I consider myself okay at the game now. Not amazing, but pretty good, right? In no world is anyone going to be like, yo, let's check out Dan play Gran Turismo 7. He's so good. But yeah, I was able to get all the golds in License A. I'm never doing that again. None of the licenses harder than that. Will I ever try? Even getting all golds on the first set of missions is some ridiculous thing that I will never accomplish. But they seem to know this, Bob.
Yeah.
Because they give you a car for just doing all bronzes. They seem to know that getting all golds on the missions is hard as hell because they give you one car for doing bronzes and another car for doing golds.
They did that on B license.
They
too.
did.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I saw that and my brain went, stupid car. The one that's gold's gonna be the one.
Yeah.
and that was my cope mode when I was on mission 9 going, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah. That's the thing. License tests are really hard. They try to get you to learn how to do a very hard thing very specifically. Weird thing with this game though. For people who've never played a Gran Turismo, by default, and they let you set it up at the beginning, so you get to choose. But by default, they have assists turned on. The assists are stuff like analog braking system, counter steering compensation, and other things to help you from massively screwing up. Which, good luck. If I got to license test A, all the way at the 9th stage of it, A9, and it's a hairpin turn, and I spent 2 hours on this test trying to get the gold on this stream.
Ugh.
And some person from the internet just comes in and goes, you still have counter steering on? Turn that off. I go, what? They're like, yeah, turn it off. I turn it off and I chop 100 milliseconds off my time immediately. And I go, I've been here for 2 hours because I have the crutches turned on.
You gotta take the bumpers off of that.
Yeah, I had to take the bumpers off. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. The game needs me in order to get a gold on this because I got a bronze immediately. It was not hard to get a bronze on that. But in order to get a gold, they're like, we're going to need you to take off the crutches. They're slowing you down. Lower the bumpers. You're going to jump up out of the gutter. It was intense. But I eventually got that, and man, it was not worth it. Getting all golds on B license, that was worth it. The GTO rules. I've used that in a number of races. But yeah, I don't even remember the car that I got from A license all gold. Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be one of my favorite games of the year. I'm excited to put even more time into it. They started throwing more and more off-roading races at me, which is really cool because obviously that controls completely differently. You're drifting around every corner if you're doing it correctly, which is really intense and insane, especially when there are like steep drop-offs. You know, you're just flying through the air laterally if you didn't do it right. It's really cool. Also, you know, they caught up to Forza on the customization stuff. So you can search the internet for anime tagged car paint designs.
Yes, finally.
I found
Can't have your Nico mobile.
Yeah, give me my Elven lead car.
Yeah, we had a Miku car that was pretty good. I found multiple Sonic cars that are amazing.
Oh, of course.
But then for the GTR, for the rally racing and stuff, I had to go with the Monster Mobile, which had Mike Wazowski in the window.
I almost had a panic attack this morning watching you play, and when it turned and showed Mike Wazowski with his arm out, I'm like, what?
It was so good. We erupted on that State of Play stream when I found that car. I was like, that's Mike! That's Mike! That was really good. I'm glad they added that.
And I was just tired enough that my brain went, oh, I get it. It's because he's also green.
Yep.
And not because he's
he's a monster. Obviously, Mike Wazowski is the mascot of Monsters Inc.'s energy drink Monster. This just makes sense. But yeah, no, that game is really good. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it, Bob?
Not really. I mean, we covered everything. That game's got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I didn't cover other than I haven't played the normal online, but I did play the sport online, where you have to do clean races. And I was like, ooh, I got 6th place. I feel accomplished. I came in with a car that was completely not optimized or anything. It was just the stock car. I was like, okay, I drive it. Okay, I got 6th place. Go me. Good job, Dan. KZ.
I like how this is my first one of these, just because I knew what this type of game was even years and years ago, so I just didn't really give it a try. I love how earnest it is, that I feel like a lot of games just aren't to this degree, where you boot up this game and there's what feels like a 10-minute long intro.
Yeah, it has like the most sincere like kind of
love and respect.
That's why I liked it so much. Where for people who haven't seen it, it intros with nice credits and like a really nice song that's playing, showing you the cars throughout the years being made and other events happening around it. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if there's a clip there of a printing press being made where it's like using old film footage, and it's like really, really nice. And then it cuts to the actual game for the second half of the intro, and it's playing this like Japanese PS2 rock track while you're seeing these amazing looking cars racing, and it's like just really good.
Yeah,
it's really good and gets me on the game side immediately in a way that I feel like I wasn't in. And not to throw shade, not as like Burning Man Forza Horizon.
I know there's like for the intro for Forza Horizon 5, there is some really cool spectacle stuff there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a cool energy with that, but the actual energy of the event sucks. And the gravitas here is really cool. Like it feels really earnest.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have mentioned it if they only did the really nice classical music and like old film footage of stuff in cars. But then when they kick into the GT mode where it's just playing a really good rock track that's stuck in my head and just showing cool racing, I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's like you have both tones here.
Yeah, and that's the whole game too.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I feel like this happens in a lot of Japanese games where they take things like in a real sincere and earnest way that just kind of gets me into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
That I'm like, all right, I'm not hyper into this genre, but I'm willing to give it a try given how seriously you're actually you're taking it.
Yeah, because there's not a hint of irony. You know?
I tend to not like too much ironic type of stuff in games because I feel like it kind of shoots. It kills my chance of like getting into it as much, especially from a narrative perspective. But for this stuff, I'm like, that's really nice. Like, I really appreciated it.
Yeah, Gran Turismo is the friend you have who's really into a thing where when they talk about it, you get excited for the thing.
Yeah, that's the exact vibe I got from watching that intro. It's really funny because when you reach the end of it, it starts playing some organ shit.
Yes.
And I was like, are they going to do another 5 minutes? Because I will totally do that. And then the title popped up, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're done now.
Yeah, this game has a whole like litany of songs that it's just like, okay, we're doing a cool jazz song, and now we're going into Dancing Mad.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
It's pretty cool. Currently, the music rally only has 6 different songs. They say the final icon says more to come. And the list of things they said on launch day, because they have a way for you to check in-game what updates changed about the game, but also news about upcoming things.
Oh, yeah, they got like a notice board that a lot of online games do.
You can click to the bottom and it tells you exactly what's up. On launch day, they're like, yeah, we're going to add more courses, more vehicles, more of this, more of that, more music rally. And I'm like, guys, there's already so much shit here.
Oh, well, they have to make up for the fact they had nothing on the last game.
Yeah, it's definitely overcompensating for that, and that feels great. This feels amazing. Because here's the thing, I love Gran Turismo 5, but man, the PS3 generation, the quality of those assets and how fast it can load them, which is not at all, was like cement boots for that game. It really made sticking with it hard.
Right.
And I'm so glad that we're finally at a point where it doesn't have that problem. That actually did, to some extent, that started with GT4. Like, load times on GT4 weren't even that great.
Right.
I really do find how incredibly earnest about the love of cars this thing is, because, like, keep in mind, I've done 38 menu books, or 37 at this point. That means 37 times I've heard that man go off about Fiats and Porsches and specific, like the Camaro.
French hot hatches.
Yes, that one was really good, where he's like, French hot hatches. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, I'm going to explain what they are and why they're so cool. And I'm like, this rules. What an awesome game. It's so cool. I wish we had more things like this. Like, I want the skateboarding version of this, right? I want all these other sort of things that are in reality to be done in this style. It would be so cool to get all this history and all this enthusiasm about different things. Like, in a skateboarding game, it would be when moves changed and the design of skateboards changing over time.
I feel like with a lot of games, we get a lot of sports games and yearly releases of stuff they're about getting the core game and maybe like a season of that sport as a mode.
Right.
But they don't really dive into like the historical context of these things or any of that.
Yeah.
They're just kind of focused on getting the core out and just giving it to you. So this is kind of like that prestige thing where they know that that's the bare minimum, and then they also want all of these other things around it.
I one thing about this that I've noticed is, like, I really have an appreciation for a hardcore simulator like this, and for crazy zany racing games like Burnout.
Yes.
And I hate the between states. And that's what almost everything is now. And that's really upsetting. Like, Forza Horizon, that. All the Need for Speed games, that. It's like they don't want to go all the way because they have these car licenses. They can't break the cars. And it's like, no, you gotta commit all to one or the other, or your game isn't good.
You're right. I was kind of making this point when we were talking about the new Horizon. The new Forza Horizon last year, where
Don't worry, you can call it the New Horizon. Everyone already forgot the Forbidden West came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
So did I, because I literally bought GT7 saying it's the next game after Elden Ring because I have nothing else. And then I looked and I had Horizon Forbidden West installed off my digital payment of it.
Oh, no.
So, and I also got the deluxe version of this where they give you $1.5 million.
Yes.
So I paid even extra on this and going,
Oh, wow.
I paid I also bought Horizon wrong, so I paid $70 for Horizon.
Wow.
And I still haven't touched it yet. But anyway, I was making a point about Forza Horizon 5.
Yes.
Where I was like, I don't necessarily like racing simulators, but I like it more when it's one static thing it's going for. Because when it's almost arcade-ish, I expect it to control in a fun way.
Yes.
But that is like halfway to almost being fun, but then doing realism things, and then I get upset.
Yeah, it feels like...
Where I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here between these two.
Let me put it this way, right? Could you imagine a world in which Nintendo put out a Pilot Wings that controlled like Microsoft Flight Simulator?
But only sometimes.
But only sometimes?
Like sometimes they let you do something wacky, but don't go too wacky. You'll start your spin out.
Yeah, and
Yeah. That was my problem. It was why I was imagining that when I played GT7, I would be more okay with it because it's going to very much be consistent in what it's doing. So I'll be able to get in the right mindset for it, which I have. Like I did do at least one race on the little bottom thing under the world circuits that they didn't let me do because I didn't know how to do the menus because I'm an idiot. But I did one of those. And I'm like, okay, I understand that the turns are hard.
Yeah.
I understand the turns are going to ruin my life today.
Also, there's something neat because this game eventually tries to like sort of explain to you what advanced turning is. Like turning in for a dumbass gamer means the road is turning, so hold left.
Yes.
Right. But then they explain, okay, so here's how advanced turning works. You start on the outside, hit the inside, begin accelerating, and then you end up on the outside again because you're trying to make the straightest line possible through a turn. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I don't think that works in Mario Kart.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to hit the drift button to get the blue sparks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I get a power boost.
The funny thing is there is drifting and stuff in this game. They even have very specific mechanical parts to help with that. But I still have not gotten to the point where the game expects any of it. So I have to wonder if eventually I'm hitting, Lucas is going to tell me, hey, time to go to Tokyo.
Oh, no.
We got to drift. I don't know. I don't know when Lucas is going to send me.
Oh, no.
I like to believe I'm Vin Diesel in this game. Anyway, that's, yeah. I do appreciate it's a simulator. It's simulated courses. And I totally get both of you being like things in between are not great. Like as enjoyable, frustrating, however you would like to say it.
I want to destroy cars.
Yeah.
I want to blow them up.
Of course.
I want to hit that button that lets me blow them up again and get a big score.
I love Burnout.
I want to do big jumps.
I don't know what's wrong with EA. I have no idea.
I'm so mad.
The biggest fuck up they've done at EA is not making a successor to Burnout Paradise since.
Yeah.
Like, guys,
they ported the devs over to Need for Speed, and it's like, you don't understand.
How long has it been since Burnout Paradise? 13 years?
Something like that. It's insane.
Now this may be an immature take here of a naive thing.
14 years in January.
Okay, now this may be naive, Dan.
Uh-huh.
Why can't they just make one without brands?
I don't fucking know.
Do they copyright the shell of a car so it'd be impossible to like make cars? Or
I mean, that's what Burnout was. It just didn't have brands.
Yeah, I know.
It's like but now they're like, well, we have these license agreements we made with these companies. We have to use them.
Yeah, I'm just like, just make
a racing game.
Yeah,
it can't be this hard.
Just do it. I'm not even necessarily a big fan of like Paradise because I'm like, I don't really need an open world. I frankly would just like menus, frankly. But
I mean, yeah, I like Burnout Revenge.
Yeah, Revenge and 3 I love a lot. I'm like, make one of those.
But yeah, I think of all of 7 Gen's racers, I think Burnout Paradise is my favorite. Like the next closest is probably Ridge Racer 7, which I did not like as much as the PSP Ridge Racer.
Yeah. I'm not even the biggest fan of Paradise, but I'm still like, it's a Burnout game, so it's
right. So it feels good and fun.
Mm-hmm, it's on that upper echelon of like games I want.
Maybe somebody will pull their head out of their ass and make a really, really fun normal racer again, but who knows?
I mean,
all I know is here's the dagger I've been hiding. So I've spent this much time in GT7, right?
Yeah.
I plan to spend at least 10 more hours. Easily 10 more hours. They will disappear like nothing was ever there.
Like what, before the stream on Friday? Or
we'll see. Depends on how much longer this podcast goes. I have over there in a sealed copy of Forza Motorsport 7.
Oh my God!
What are you doing?
I'm going straight from GT7 to Forza Motorsport 7 because I have never given Forza Motorsport an intense chance, like a multiple of hours. No, I will now.
This is the conversation in my head. Me going, Dan's unreasonable. That one's old. He should wait for the new one. That one's also probably going to be a problem. Oh no. I can't get out.
I mean, here's the thing. Microsoft and I'm calling this now, right? We won't know until years from now when the studio that made Forza is shut down. We won't know until then. But they're probably doing the same thing they did to Fable to the Forza Motorsport people.
No.
Where they're like, you already made the best one of those you can. You now need to innovate.
No.
Oh, no.
That's what happened at the end of Fable 3's development, and that's what led to everything past Fable 3.
That's so insane because it's like you can have it as the Fable 3 is the worst one of those they could make.
Yes.
I'm having
damn near.
If I recall, every time a Forza game was shown to us in the recent years, it was then about to come out. Except for the newest Forza Motorsport, where they showed it when the Series X was about to come out, and it's still not out, and we haven't seen it since.
Yeah, it's not numbered. We haven't seen it in a year and a half. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and I'm really worried about that game.
I hope it's fine. And that at an E3 show we see it.
When somebody said during my 30 hours of playing GT7. You know, I told them, I was like, yeah, I have a boxed copy of Forza Motorsport 7. Because here's the thing, Bob, I'm not sure if anybody ever told you this. Did you know that GT7 is Sony's, it's their simulated racing game, right? It's their racing sim. And you actually can't get a racing sim from Microsoft right now because they delisted every Forza Motorsport.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good thing you have that boxed copy. You can't play that, and you can't play the previous Horizon. You can only play the current one.
Yeah, I can only play the current Forza Horizon, and you can only play, you can only play boxed copies of Forza Motorsport 7 because they delisted it and removed it from Game Pass because Microsoft literally is so myopic when they write these contracts that they only license the car for like 3 years. Because they were certain, I guess, they were going to make another Forza Motorsport in time where it would be fine.
If I spent years making a game and you set it up like that, I would want to kill you.
Yes.
I spent 3 years of my life, and now that is lost media.
Yeah. That's what you want with your career, right?
Yeah, of course.
For it to just disappear because you didn't want to pay the people who owned McLaren enough money?
It's like that. 6 months ago, they were like, Transformers Devastation soundtrack is finally on Bandcamp. We got the rights to do that. You can't buy that game.
Yeah.
You can get that soundtrack now. You haven't been able to buy that game for over 3 years.
Ugh. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, so my cynical expectation of what's going on with Forza is that they have the Fable problem at Microsoft because Horizon's selling better.
God, it's the more brand friendly one. They're like, simulators are boring. Can you do something else?
Can you do something fun like these people we gave your IP to do something fun with it.
It'd be really funny if it came out and then they cynically turned it into Burnout and it was based.
I mean, that would be cool. I don't know why you'd call that Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, I know.
No.
It'd be really funny if you did that and then like the headlights pop out and then guns come out of it. I'm like, oh shit, what are you doing?
Nice, you made a Twisted Metal. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to like for a huge chunk of time sitting down with Forza Motorsport 7 because here's the fun fact. I tried to do that with the Forza that came out at the beginning of the Xbox One generation. But it was like for people who didn't play any of those launch titles, every Microsoft launch title on the Xbox One has insane amounts of microtransactions shoved in. And Motorsport might have been one of the worst. I believe that's Forza Motorsport 5. It was terrible about it. You got jack shit from winning a race.
Man, they put out 3 of those things on the...
Once every 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they did it at launch. They did 2 years in. They did it 4 years in, and that's it. We haven't had one in. I think chat was saying 5 years.
That's what makes that all scary. Where it's like you're putting them out like a factory. What happened?
A factory shut down.
Oh no!
That should have made the Forza Motorsport factory in Detroit.
Yeah, it's a MOBA now.
But yeah, we haven't had a Forza Motorsport. We haven't had one in 5 years. Hopefully, we hear about that soon.
Yeah.
Because
please just show it in June. Please, I'm begging you.
That would be cool. I presume those games are good. Is the way I feel about it now. I haven't given one like 8 hours of my life before. I've only played them for like an hour or two and then just gone, not feeling it.
Whatever, just put a stream goal up.
People like, Dan, we want to buy you a wheel for GT7. I'm like, no.
You're like, just put a goal for that up. It's the first thing that will make less money than a prototype 2 goal.
Oh man, I'm never putting that goal. No one cares.
I think they might care just to hurt you.
I don't even know.
I don't want to spend the whole Prototype 2 stream reminding people what the literal text of Prototype 1 is. Because when I keep hearing, they ruined that character in 2, and I'm like, that character wasn't in 1.
What did you play, an hour?
What if they're right though?
I don't know.
That don't make me intellectually interested.
God damn it.
because it could always be like the thing KZ's like, well, obviously Dead Space 3 will be better than this.
Fucking God. Fuck that team. All they did was make fucking 6s.
But
at best.
yeah, that's anyways, that's the GT7's talk. It's those racing wheels look cool, like the direct drive ones, but they're literally $1,000. They're like $1,100, and I'm like, oh man, look at these cool GT7 streamers who are like popular for streaming GT7 because they're good at it and have an $1,100 wheel and maybe even a sponsorship from the people who make them.
Right?
Yeah, you can't buy one of those. You got to buy a $4,000 Mac.
Oh God, no. Not the $4,000, which, by the way, that's not even the powerful one. There's a hidden
you got to get the $12,000 one.
There's a hidden dagger there. I think it's $5,000 for the actual one they talked about, but we'll get to that later. Hey Bob.
Hey.
Did you play things other than GT7?
Of course.
Okay, what'd you play?
Well, I missed last week, so I didn't get to talk about Babylon's Fall.
Yeah!
No,
I'm leaving. I'm disconnecting this mic.
Oh no!
Yeah! Tell me about Babylon's Fall. Did it magically become a great video game?
That is exactly the same game I played in the beta.
yeah, no shit. Of course.
Yeah, no shit.
Like it's like Balan. They can't remake the whole game in 2 months.
Yeah. So it's the same levels I played in the beta, but now there's voiceover. It goes through them.
Oh, that fixes everything.
That changes so much.
Good voiceover?
I mean, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's not like egregiously bad like everything else.
Why do the cutscenes look like that?
I don't know.
Those look so bad. That is embarrassing.
There are 3 styles of cutscenes. There's a cutscene that looks like it's in any video game that should have released in the last 10 years.
All right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not great. You have to look at your character model, which the character creator only lets you make the most hideous creatures I've ever made.
Okay.
and they can only be white.
Yeah, they don't know what black people are.
Hey, they can be green.
They just can't be black.
Yeah, they can't be black. Well, don't be silly. You can be green. You can be light blue. You can be white.
You could be anything as long as it's not black.
What is this, the Republican Party?
There's the cutscenes that are like what I posted on Twitter, where they will like move the models around like it's Berserk 2016.
No.
And just shake them and have them not actually like move properly at all, and it's a nightmare.
You say shake them, and I just think the Canadians from South Park.
I'm looking at the opening cutscene of this game with like the ship.
Yeah.
And it's like, this looks like Dragon Age 2. This looks so intensely like Dragon Age 2. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, that was really rough where there's a screenshot of it, and I added you saying, what BioWare game is this? And you're like, too late, I already made a Dragon Age 2 tweet. Like in the same minute.
Even the animations they're doing.
Yeah.
Which looking at them, I think are Final Fantasy 14 emotes. That they just stuck into this game.
Probably.
But like with these models, it just looks like Dragon Age.
Then there's the third kind of cutscene, which is just them all sitting around, not moving, basically T-posing as they talk. No camera cuts. Just you're there. You can move the camera yourself. That's preferable to the Berserk 2016 mode it goes into.
At this point, just have someone draw portraits.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, why don't you just do that? This is rough. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's still the same awful game.
That's
unfortunate. You can also look at the menu where you will be able to use real money, and you can look at their battle pass and that sort of stuff. And it's like, God, what are you doing?
It's okay. The first one's free.
Sure.
The second one
won't happen because the game will have ended support.
It's really funny. They set out to make a Nier Automata that had a longer tail end, and then this doesn't have any tail at all.
This doesn't even have an end.
Obviously, we will never. This is information we will never have ever. But I want to know first, like in the first 10 weeks of Babylon's fall release, how many copies did Nier Automata sell in that time frame?
You're right. It sold more for sure.
Yeah,
Nier did really well, actually.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, in the Babylon's Fall's first 10 weeks, how many copies did Nier sell? Now.
I'm sure it beat it 100%.
Yeah.
Like this, there's no way this thing sold.
I'm checking Twitch.
How many people are streaming?
Probably one at most.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. This game is
35 viewers
on Babylon's Fall.
Yeah.
Wow, that's higher than I expected.
It's probably one guy doing a stream.
Yeah, that's probably
Nier Automata, 141 viewers.
Of course.
God.
Yeah, even if that thing's old, that's one of the most loved and critically acclaimed games of last gen.
I thought you were going to say Platinum's ever made. Yeah. Okay.
That too.
Yeah, it is that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Dragon Age 2, 65 viewers.
Stop it!
Jesus Christ.
I just don't know what producer at Square Enix saw this and was like, we can release it. It's fine.
Here's what I think happened. And a lot of people keep bringing up the fucking initial reveal and it's like that was obviously some version of the game that Square made them scrap. To which I respond, 1, the end of that reveal shows 4 generic characters, so this was always the plan. And 2, 1 month later, they opened that Games as a Service studio. This was always the plan. But what I think happened is they saw that slice and was like, yeah, go ahead. And then Platinum is like, we can't make this work with online and having 4 playable characters. We just made one guy fighting things in a void. We can do that. We can't do 4 people doing that with online.
What I've come to learn is that Square is closing into what they didn't have until I think it was 2011 or 2012, where someone posted, based on their release schedule now, they have not released this many games per year since that year. and they've never reached that again until now. And the cost of that
probably
is
slowed
they are
down a
not
little bit
looking
more.
they are not looking at some of these games.
I mean, the
yeah.
weird thing, and a lot of the reason that people pin a lot of bad stuff in Babylon's Fall on Square Enix is at E3 where they did the big re-reveal. All the insane stuff that was said by Square Enix employees. So I get it. Like they definitely have a big red like X on themselves.
I mean, yes, they put out
Yeah, but the first thing said in that thing was Platinum brought this idea to us. So it's like, guys, how they didn't make that up.
No, I can understand both sides of this argument where it's like, clearly Platinum wants to do these.
Yeah, they wanted to do something like this for
but
sure.
also Square also likes these things. They put out they made that Avengers game.
They made that Avengers game. They have that Chocobo game releasing next week.
Oh my!
Everyone's a really big fan of the Infinite Money Bag.
Yeah,
Bob,
I'm not even sure if the Avengers thing.
Yeah, that's out.
Okay.
The Evil is out now.
That Ancient Evil awakened. It's that Ancient Evil bird, but it's golden.
New Street for tomorrow.
God.
Sorry, God of War.
No.
She just got kicked back.
But yeah, I can see how both people come up with it. But there are a lot of people saying none of this would have happened without. I was like, okay, well,
I think it's on both of them. They did like the handshake and had horrible ideas. It had that guy from Parasite Eve 2 came back. So I want to pin as much as I can on that, man.
Yeah, it's two idiots that are made for each other.
Like,
is this moment right here? That is exactly what happened.
Like what Square Enix is guilty of is not having any quality control for these outside developed projects at all.
Oh yeah, that's 100% a huge problem, which is something else I'm going to talk about in the next part. Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. It's God. Stop.
Yeah. I also got to play a little bit of Bloodrayne Revamped for PS5.
Oh my god!
Bob, does that have any cool next gen features?
Yeah, they upscaled the cutscenes.
Oh, and does that mean they look good?
I think they use machine learning. Everything looks like it's moving and alive and awful.
Oh no!
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah, I'm like, if you just gave me the old PS2, it would look better. I'm almost sure. If you just did a 2x upscale, it would almost certainly be better than whatever you did to this, because it'll be like a wide shot, and Bloodrayne is like fighting guys on a street, and the street's like stones, so it's all textured. The stone texture is going into her skin.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just looks awful.
Jesus. I'm going to be honest, though. Bob said Bloodrayne is fighting the guy on the street, and I'm like, that's stupid. That's not the name of the... Wait, is that the name of the character? Because to me, it felt like Bob said
the name of the character?
God of War is fighting people on the street.
I think her name's Bloodrayne.
Okay, I'm a
Maybe her name's just Rain.
Now I have to look it up.
Yeah, I think her name's just Rain. Protagonist.
Yes, it's just Rain.
Oh, thank God. Wait, is her last name Blood? Is everyone being really
I don't think
polite?
she has a last name.
Is there a normal Rain?
People call her B.
Or are they going to have a spinoff just called something else Rain?
But the otherwise, this is really nice looking. It's like running a solid 60, looks really high res. Of course, it's the same old art and assets. It'll look terrible, but it's funny. It's also got boob shake that's absurd.
Oh no!
Let's go.
But yeah, this game's really rough. I only played like 10 minutes of it, and it was like, yeah, I kind of remember this being just super jank. It has two different control schemes. One's called first person, the other's called third person. This game's always third person. Don't be fooled.
Wait, what?
It's just saying that, yeah, if you use the first person controls, the left analog stick moves the character, the right analog stick moves the camera. If you use third person controls, it's weird. I didn't even use it because it looks strange.
What?
That's insane.
What fuck goofy shit is this?
Okay, Bob. I went to look up footage of this.
Okay.
I didn't realize that this game thought it was really cool to have her run on the banister of a stairway. So if you just jump on the handrail, You can just grind it like a Tony Hawk thing, except for you run. That's the funniest shit in the world.
I didn't see that. I've seen the early on. They're like, yeah, jump on the telephone poles and you can walk on the wire. Like does that, but doesn't grind or anything.
Yeah, there's no grind here. It just locks her into the path of the handrail.
Oh, that's 2 you're looking at.
Oh, that's 2. Oh, silly me. Sorry, this might be spoilers.
Yeah, well, she's got the dress for 2.
Thank you, Bob. I will remember this.
But yeah, this game obviously came out after The Matrix. It is
Oh, no, really?
in Blade.
Oh, really? It came after Blade? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, so you have bullet time.
How about Underworld?
I don't know, actually.
I think it's pretty certain it came out after Underworld.
It might have been like lined up.
It is
We're making the diagram right now.
very Underworld core.
It is in the very center of 3 circles.
That is, in fact, 1 circle.
But I will probably continue to play it on my own unless we decide we want to stream it or something crazy.
Underworld came out after Bloodrayne, so...
It's a ripoff. I knew it.
Just look forward to Blood Main.
Oh, Jesus.
Isn't there some horrible 2D one they made fairly recently? Didn't Way Forward make that?
Yeah, Way Forward made an awful 2D one from
recently,
PS3.
you mean 11 years ago?
Yeah, it was a PS3 game, but they recently ported it.
Yes.
Time isn't real.
Yeah, they
Bob was
ported
talking
it.
about it. What was it? Fresh Bites?
Yeah, I can't remember
Something like that.
what the
think-
port was called.
PS3's not retro. I'm not coping.
Yeah, let me see. What else did I play? Oh, right. I played Elden Ring. I don't know if we're even going to talk about it on here. I guess probably talked about it a little bit last week.
No,
Yeah, we
we
talked about
forgot
it a
to
little
talk
bit.
about Elden Ring at all.
Okay.
Yeah, even though it swallowed everything
Yeah.
in humanity.
Yeah,
in
no,
human history.
That's all the time. My timeline is on Twitter now.
We did the, hey, what happened in the last week? And then I went, I saw a dog. And feels like, oh, that's cool. Talk about this dog for the next 20 minutes.
Here's how bad it was. I was talking to Dan off content, and we're like, we recorded that one thing. I feel like it was like fucking 5 days ago or something. You're like, actually, it was 1 day off from 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Elden Ring happened. And it was like a pocket
Yeah.
that just ruined time for me.
Yeah. So, Bob, you played Elden Ring.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it.
Oh, okay.
Shock.
Yeah.
You played Elden Ring, and it's big.
It's very big.
Yeah, it is gargantuan.
They made
It is massive.
They took Dark Souls 3. They grabbed the corner and they pulled it.
They just resized it.
They resized
it's so big.
Yeah, Control T.
I said this because I have beaten it. I beat it this week. This is every single idea Miyazaki has ever had in one game. There is so many points where I was like, this is exactly like this thing in Dark Souls 3, but like it's different, but it's the same idea. It's like, this is exactly like this thing in Bloodborne. This is exactly like this thing in Dark Souls 2. This is exactly like this thing in Demon Souls. So it feels like they just let him make his dream game. It's like he can't make another one because this is every single idea he's ever had.
Why would
Right.
you imply that he's not going to make another one immediately?
How could you say that?
Yeah, I can't believe you feel. Stop making things up, please.
Why would a game that has every single idea, character concept, aesthetic, theme, allegory, everything in this one game
So what you're
that is also the biggest game ever made?
So you're saying
Why-
there's another
why
one
would-
next year, right?
Yeah, so what you're saying is that Miyazaki can't come up with any more new ideas ever again.
I think that there will be an Elden Ring 2 maybe on the PS6.
I mean, I don't know why you're coming up with all of these things. It's not like Elden Ring's main theme is the Demon Souls theme in the melody.
Was I don't like catacombs at all.
They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad. That's a type of map that gets reused frequently.
Yeah.
Like there's several different ones. There's the catacomb one, the caves, and the mines. They all use reuse palettes, basically like chalice dungeons,
Yeah.
and they just can create them out of very few assets. I don't mind the other two. The catacombs are always bad. They look the worst.
The catacombs usually have bad stuff, yes.
They have just bad ideas, like a bunch of hidden walls. Oh, and multiple of them have been like, I'm going to be goofy and make the same room 12 times in a row. Are you confused yet? I'm like,
okay,
no, I get it. It's bad though.
If we're gonna have a conversation about like which of these is the worst one, I will concede that is the worst one, because the concept is run through all these enemies because you don't give a shit because you need to find the lever that makes the big door open.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's a cave, I am super hyped because there's materials everywhere.
Yes,
and you will rinse a boss that's like, you've unlocked the ability to buy a tier of this item now, and that always feels good.
Yeah, the problem with the catacombs is that what you get from them is like the ash upgrade material, but there's also entire actual areas of the game that give you ash upgrade materials.
Yeah, I didn't even unlock the ash upgrading ability until like 30 plus hours in.
Yeah, I saw you tweet and I saw a character wearing something a certain way. I went, oh no. Where I'm like, oh no, that means things.
I didn't even realize what I was getting for doing these. I was just doing them because I found them. And I was like, well, surely this is going to make sense at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't hate the catacombs, but they are at the bottom of the list of that type of content that I want to do. But
I found a boss in one of them where the strategy was just don't block or dodge, just let him hit you.
Wow,
because he doesn't do very much damage and he doesn't even flinch you because he's using a dagger.
Oh,
but if you block him, it takes a lot of stamina and he's fast. So I'm just like, except I still died a couple times because he has a grab he can instantly do where he just casually cuts your throat. He just grabs you and tilts your head up and cuts you. That's it.
Yeah, they have like some assassin type enemies that are like, this is the thing we do.
Yeah, I've run into...
Wow, I'm not going to block. I'm just going to keep hitting you.
Yeah, I've run into some that are kind of like that, but my health bar ain't big enough for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went strength and got to pump health, and it's like, oh, wow, I have 50 vitality and heavy armor, and I still die in 2 hits most of the time.
Yeah, and I played 70% of this game with 15 health stat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That means you had like, God, that means you had like 1,000 less health than me.
Yes. Yeah, my stamina bar was like 30% larger for most of the game. It was only toward the end that I'm like, all right, well, intelligence is at 70. I guess I should do something else.
I saw a dog last week.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool
That's
dog.
cool. Did you find it, Bob, did you find a dex weapon in horrible spiders?
No, luckily the game has psyched me out. And been like, well, we put spider eggs all over this, but then it didn't have spiders, and I was like, what's happening?
I know. It's got something. It doesn't have spiders as far as I can tell.
I didn't run into any spiders so far. I found other things, yeah, but nothing near as bad as spiders.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any spiders.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, he needs to do another one of these games now.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't have every idea in there.
They need to put Patch's head on a spider like they did in Bloodborne.
God damn it, that was the dumbest shit in the world.
There's this one area in Elden Ring that I saw people online freaking out about how cool it was.
Yeah.
And it's this thing I don't want to talk too much about, but you go underground and it looks pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was like, I played this area in Genshin 2 months ago and it would look cooler. Oh no.
Oh no. I can't handle you going, I played this in Genshin Impact.
I also thought that when I got to this area.
That's
I'm gonna be
hilarious.
No, it is the exact same idea, but there are directions way better.
Of course it is. I love anime.
But the Genshin Impact version doesn't have the funniest video game enemy of all time.
Okay, it does. You got to get further, and there was the dumbest shit in the world.
I'm trying to think because I've done pretty much everything in there.
Okay.
Did you do the one that opens up after you beat the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
did you not go
We
into
will
the room?
have this conversation in something hopefully somewhere later.
Okay, yes, we will have this conversation.
Because as soon as it happened to me, I went, "This is the thing I want to talk about the most." I will hold it.
You know, I can just put it in text, and Bob can say whether or not he encountered it.
Okay, sure.
And then we can elaborate
Later.
later. Let me see.
Yes.
It's the funniest thing they've ever done.
That one where they close the door behind it is truly unhinged.
And that's all people who played it need to know exactly what we're talking about.
You know,
I actually never got into a bad situation with this, so it wasn't nearly as funny to me.
Okay, you missed the best spot.
you know, it was something you missed last week, Bob, because you weren't here.
Yeah.
You know, Aggro said he had some disagreements with some things that you and I have said about Horizon Forbidden West, and then he pointed to the SummerSlam sign as he implied there would be some sort of discussion in the future about this. And I'm like, well, shit, man. Like, fucking, if I have to go through the spoiler cast about fucking Horizon Forbidden West, Aggro should have to play GT7. That's how I feel, Bob. How do you feel about
I don't think that anything good comes of that other than anger.
The funniest content in the world comes from that.
You know what I love about this? This is the most fucked up game of telephone where he says this when Bob's not on the podcast, and now he's going to be listening to this podcast while at work.
Yep. Oh man, I'm just like, I don't want to fucking talk about Horizon Forbidden West months from now. That's like Days Gone podcast. Who would fucking do that?
Me putting on my clown nose and getting ready to play Horizon.
I still haven't started.
Let's see. I also played that Kirby demo.
Oh, cool.
Did anyone talk about the QTE boss?
No.
I didn't run into any of his QT moves because I chose the ice power and hung out under his nuts and froze him to death.
Yeah, we did talk about it, and I used normal Kirby powers because the ice wasn't doing enough for me because I wasn't getting in hard enough.
I mean, I used the ice where you just become invincible. Like, I didn't even fight him, really. I just like, okay, I turned to a block. You do nothing, and then I spit on you.
Yeah, no, that was the battle.
But I thought it was hilarious that they had a QTE at the beginning of that. It was just like,
I'm actually trying to remember this.
He grabs you, and you like shake out of it, and you.
Oh yeah, God, I'm sorry. I played it for that 15 minutes before we recorded, so part of it kind of left immediately.
I mean, this moment wasn't that remarkable to me.
I didn't expect to see like
a QTE in a Kirby game.
Kirby game. I'm sorry, that blew my mind. I was like, Kirby is God of War.
There we go.
Kirby self takedown.
And the only other thing I played was Stranger of Paradise. They released that demo. I played a lot of it.
Cool.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay.
I'm going to be unhinged and have everything maxed out by the time the game comes out.
Hopefully a lot of that stuff transfers over because they do word it weirdly.
Said it. They said it carries over.
They said
like
some things carry over.
Uh-oh.
Whatever. I'll get to do it twice.
Square Enix paints the tunnel on the wall and Phil starts running.
Yeah, but I'll just run hard enough that it'll just work. It'll be like, what do you mean there was a wall there? I didn't notice.
This is another game way too similar to that beta. This game still runs bad and is basically like hard to look at.
It is. I don't know what the fuck that dithering effect is that seems to be performance related because it turns off inside areas. But if you can see like the horizon, it's like, it's literally like is it like some fucked up horrible version of checkerboarding? I don't know what it is.
I'm going to tell you,
terrible.
This game, the way it looks visually, especially in performance mode, is downright inexplicable is the word.
It is the most befuddling game I've ever looked at because I did boot it up just to I was like, I need to know at least. real quick. So I just kind of skipped scenes and just went through. And I got to that tutorial grass thing. And I went, was there a solution to just lower the resolution even more? Was that our only option here for salvation?
That's what I thought. I was like, is this like
it's 720p or something.
544p?
Is this maybe 900p?
No, I saw the footage of Elden Ring running on the Xbox One S, and it looks higher res than this, and that's 900.
I know, that's what killed me. I'm like, the UI clearly looks sharper than this game is.
By a lot.
So I was like, uh-oh.
It's nuts.
And it's not even just that. The game is still so dark. I can't see it. Most of the time, the game's difficulty is coming from me not being able to see.
I gotta ask, are you using HDR?
I turned it off. I tried that. I tried it both ways.
Did you turn it off and then turn it off at a system level?
I guess I didn't turn it off at a system level.
So here's the thing. In no world should a video game be like, turn off HDR, but then still be outputting an HDR signal. I haven't checked out the SDR yet, though. So I can't say that fixes it. And honestly, they fucked this so hard, I doubt it does. They actually had the but a less severe version of the Advent Children on 4K HDR Blu-ray problem, where in the field, the sky is completely bright as hell, and the ground is dark unless you look down or look up. And if you pause the game, it dims the sky, and you can go, hey, there are details there. You can't even remotely see them in HDR.
I mean, yeah, that's why I looked at when I played it in supposed SDR.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I'm playing as a character who's wearing all black, fighting things that are in darkness. I can't see anything.
Yeah, I don't know. They fucked it.
And I have this problem. This is a Team Ninja thing, because I had this problem bad in Neo 2 when I played it on PS5. It's like, I got to turn HDR off and crank up the brightness, because otherwise I can't see. The screen is black.
I remember you saying that for Neo 2.
Yeah, like this is like 10 times worse than Neo 2. Yeah. Because I like can see Neo in Neo 2.
Yeah, I also had that problem, vaguely remembering stuff about Neo. This feels like this combination of all the visual problems in Neo, but also they didn't let them... It can't even reach close to the visual or performance level of it. So it's like they're magnifying every problem there to comical degrees. Why does this game look like this on PS5?
I don't understand why this game looks worse than Neo 2 and also can't run at even half the frame rate of Neo 2. That's really confusing. It honestly just seems like Square Enix was like, no, you don't. You need 6 months to polish it. No, fine. No, ship.
Yeah. This is another situation of like some producer at Square Enix is letting things like this happen. They shouldn't be.
I agree. This clearly needs. There should have been feedback for the community that got observed, and then things were corrected. I don't know how we got this far.
Because I don't think that dithering effect was in the trials. That's why it ran worse, I assume.
I mean, the performance mode is the weirdest solution to, like, your game running kind of rough I've ever seen. I've never seen a game that was like 1440p or higher. Our game's kind of running rough. People are complaining. Let's run in 720p. Like, what? That's insane.
That didn't fix it is the craziest part.
Yeah, that is also insane, yes.
Yeah. I did the tutorial fight, and I could immediately tell him, like, wait a minute. Why does it look like I'm playing Xenoblade 1 on Switch?
Yeah, that is the exact thought I had. I'm like, why does this look so blurry?
Yeah, it's that level of blur on everything where it's like, I personally really, really love the gameplay of this and just the stuff it's going for, but I'm like, why does it have to be the most ugly game I'm going to play this year?
And honestly, not just the like the fidelity level. It's like this game has really ugly NPCs. I said on Twitter last night before we recorded this, the ugliest child I had ever seen in a game, and then I was taught that I was wrong. All video game children just look like that. But it's still really rough.
Yeah, and all NPCs look like that, and even the main characters animate like that. Like their mouths don't move right at all. I don't get it.
It's like hey Square Enix, when you do these collaborative projects, you should send like some of your visual effects guys over to help. Like send some of your animators, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely
let them
put
borrow
in some,
an art director.
I feel like they put in models for this, and they definitely wrote it, right?
Yeah.
Like we know that.
Yeah,
But I feel like-
there's no way that like they showed in promo stuff like the level. There's a level that's a Mako reactor. There's no way that's not just using resources from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah,
I mean,
Like there's not a chance.
I'm just wondering how Neo 1 and 2 came out.
right? Like,
How can we not hit that performance and visual fidelity like marker? Like what happened? Was there some nightmare with the pandemic that just made this a clown zone?
I assume Square Enix's fidelity of models they're sending over are just way too fucking high.
Yeah, maybe it is that thing of they're getting assets from Square, and that's not okay. Like they're trying to save money by doing that, and it's not working at all.
My guess is that it is some weird ass thing with whatever engine this runs on that is some proprietary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like it reminds me a lot of like there were a lot of situations where like the MT framework would just shit its pants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And run terribly. So I have to assume it's something like that because like I said, you see the game is relatively high res looking like when you're in a cave. But if you step out and see like a horizon, instant Blurville.
Yeah.
So I have to assume it's like, and it honestly, because it's also doing it on the PS5, I have to assume they hard coded that in. And it's not even something it's doing like, it's not even dynamic.
I mean, I assume it's probably dynamic, but you know, because seeing a huge horizon should make your game lower its resolution. I assume its temporal resolution is a terrible solution that maybe it doesn't have, you know, some of the checkerboard tech that a lot of engines
like
have.
they did dynamic resolution wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, as I said, this game just looks inexplicable.
We can sit here and theorize why it happened, but it shouldn't have happened.
Like, guys, when have you ever heard us theory craft why a game looks like it does?
It's like the worst looking game Team Ninja ever has made.
yeah.
This looks worse than Ninja Gaiden 1 on Xbox.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know who let it happen, and I'm upset.
Because
I'm mad. Go to your room.
These are things that when people played the demo, we were like, well, obviously they're going to fix it.
Yeah, they're going to try and fix it. They're going to at least try and make it.
What fantasy world did they release this and it looks like the first Neo-like game that they've made and not the third?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like I thought at least. I didn't think they'd fix the fidelity issues, but I thought they would try and fix
The visibility
issues. Yeah, because I know that there are a lot of people who complain about that. They have to have gotten feedback about, I can't see what's happening in this game.
The fidelity issues, right? The performance issues, rather.
Yes.
It feels like they literally went, hey, you need to lose some weight. And the people at Team Ninja and Square went, okay, we'll lose some weight. Took a chainsaw to their leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's insane. This game looks insane. It's so hard to describe.
Other than that, I really hope this demo is not the beginning of the game.
Oh, it 100% is.
I know. I absolutely know that it is, but oh my god, this storytelling is a complete mess.
Yeah, I've not seen any of those scenes, but I've heard people talk about it.
It's intensely bad, KZ.
Okay.
Okay, Casey, here's how it goes. It's like we want to go fight chaos, but the king told us that we have to kill these 3 great beasts first, so we do that off camera before the game starts. You get told in a text crawl.
Yes, you get told in a text crawl after a CG cutscene that's followed up by
another
weird
text scroll.
Yeah, another text scroll that's not that one. And the text scroll goes a little too fast.
Yeah, it goes too fast for most people with most reading speeds to be able to keep up with the text scroll. And it's like, this is second text thing you've done in like 40 seconds?
Don't worry. It also loops without any indication it's looping, so you just get confused.
Yeah, the only way...
Like there's not a line or anything.
You start reading the beginning again, and you go, wait, is it this repetitive with the writing. Oh no, that's the beginning. And the only reason you know for sure that's the beginning is because it hitches the moment it finally finishes scrolling all the way back to the beginning.
The insane thing
I
is
didn't notice that.
it does that not just for the text scrolls that are like that, but it also does it for stuff like you pick up a document, like, oh, I'm going to read this note I found on the ground.
Yes,
that's a
it
text
does.
scroll. It's like, what are you doing?
Why can't they just give you a big JPEG
This is
with
so
all the
bizarre.
text on it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Why can't you give me a box that I move up and down with the right stick, something that has been a problem solved in games for at least 10 years?
I was playing Triangle Strategy this week. That has something called Pages, where you
What a concept.
where you hit right, then more text is there.
I feel
Oh
like
man, I saw that in Resident Evil 1.
yeah. What a concept. I'm I want to be clear because I was just not going to talk about this game because the writing is that bad. I was not one of these jackasses who's like the E3 trailer's so stupid, what a terrible game, the writing is so terrible.
Yeah, you don't have a hole in your brain.
Like, that is some goofy bad writing for that trailer, and that's whatever. You know, I've played games with writing that's bad like that. The opening of this game is so bad, I'm not buying the game.
Yeah, no, I'm considering just canceling it.
I'm legitimately like, oh, I'm worried. This might be the dumbest video game story ever.
Because it's not dumb in a fun way at all. It's dumb in that way of you just left out important, vital details. Okay, the best part of an isekai or any fish out of water thing is when the character arrives in the world and has to adjust and is learning about it. That just isn't in here.
I mean, that's a whole nother layer from where I'm coming from, where I'm like, every piece of dialogue's insane. None of the lines land at all.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it only gets worse. I don't know how much of the demo you played. It keeps getting worse.
Dude, I played to the beginning of the actual demo that came out to begin with.
Yes.
So the castle. And then I put it down to play more Gran Turismo 7.
Fair.
One of the moments where I was like, this writing can't be as bad as this first cutscene makes it. And then it fades to black and it's like, the king said no, fight normal monsters. We fade in on a boat. They're now on a boat. We implied they kill things.
Yeah.
And then they're just sitting there and they do this dialogue thing and they set up a trope. That's the whole point of the scene, to set up a joke they will deliver on later. And then when they deliver it on later, doesn't land at all. And I'm like,
everything you describe has the same energy as when Final Fantasy 15 did patch story content, and they're like, we've added more content here. Fuck.
Talk about the cool things you did.
Where it's like, here's a page with holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing feels like. It all feels
And
like
it's really-
horribly disconnected.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe it. I literally was just going to not even pick it up at launch now because I'm like, I'll see what other people say playing it at launch.
The third stage is insane because the rest of the party starts acting like, oh, we don't know if Jack is actually cool.
Okay,
it's real crazy.
And then at the end of it, he beats someone up. It's like, I guess he is. It's like, what?
He owns the shit out of them, though. It's real cool.
Bob, the thing you're describing, because I didn't play that far. The fact,
Bob, that isn't a negative you're describing to me.
Bob, you've literally just described this season's worst shonen. Is the energy that has.
It does have some of the. I honestly really liked the absolutely bizarre discussion that Jack and Neon, the girl, have about memories.
Yeah,
which isn't elaborated on, which I assume will be at some point, maybe, where it's like, no, people just lose their memories here. And she's like, that's fucking stupid. Who decided that? And Jack's just he's like, I forgot. And I laughed out. What? But he's saying it as a joke. He's like, yeah, I forgot.
And other things that we saw we saw the cutscene before. I thought there would be more to it when when they first meet Neon, and Jack
He goes,
puts on,
and then he goes bullshit, plays the music, and suddenly they have teleported 4 miles away.
yeah, and then they're outside, and then they continue the conversation as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
That still just is in the game. I thought there'd be like a thing between them,
No.
like a music video of them going through and them playing the music. No, it's
I had no illusions of that. I do think there is like it seems this theme of maybe chaos isn't real is going to be a major thread of the game.
Oh yeah,
because like 3 different people talk about it to Jack, and he's just looks confused and angry every time.
I'm gonna. If Jack didn't look like the worst fucking character I've ever seen, I would hate this more. Like if he looked like bargain bin, like anime, or a little bit better, I would hate it more. But he's the worst fucking character I've ever seen, and that just lifts it up in a way that I'm not proud of necessarily.
yeah.
I was losing it because
so
I'm not
bad.
Maybe I'm terrified that this might somehow be a story element, but I'm assuming it's not. Where the pirate just looks like Fat Jack. Like they have the exact same face.
Dude, I'm glad you said that, because absolutely, I saw that trailer and I was like, he just looks like Jack. But
Like
fat.
when he's
And then I see the
talking,
king,
when he's talking,
and I'm like,
the
king
facial
looks like
animations
Jack,
are the
but
same.
fat and regal.
I mean, everyone's facial animations look the same because the game looks really bad.
This is the worst it's ever been. Where I'm gonna be like, some of these bosses are sick. I think this gameplay in the loop is fantastic. This story's gonna make me go insane and look at those fucking characters and what are they doing?
Yeah, I'm like,
Casey, here's what you need to know. This game has Kingdom Hearts secret reports.
Oh, this game's gonna be so sick, but also the worst it's ever been, but also the best it's ever been, all at once. Where I'm like, I recommend this, but you're going to go insane. You get the frenzy status from Bloodborne while playing it.
Oh yeah, I unlocked the look. All you need, even if I hadn't wanted to buy it, what happens when you explode a Tonberry is can't be beat. You can't beat it.
Oh no.
Also, I unlocked the Axe class, which is just Marauder from Final Fantasy 14, and did the full charge hit, and like the world exploded. So.
See, of course you were going to get it because it has the mechanic that was made for you on every kill in the entire game.
That's true. Like, I'm a real big fan of no, reality's just breaking every time Jack kills something.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, they added a really stupid thing where like when you explode something, it leaves behind really bad looking red dust everywhere. It didn't do that in any of the betas, but now it does. And it looks like it's hovering like an inch off the ground. It looks really terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I imagine this game's going to be a thing where it's like, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to play it unless it's because he says chaos a lot. Like that's the only one where I'm like, come on. But the rest of it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, let me put it this way, okay? This game's opening cutscene. It's 3 guys seemingly independently wandered up to the front of like
a mall.
Rover Tuesdays.
And they're like, wait a second. And they notice they each have jack-off crystals, and all 3 of them go, all I know is I love rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, you see, if you don't want to play a game because of that, like, whatever.
Okay,
I'm talking specifically, it's like, I watched that E3 trailer and I think it's stupid and how dare they. That type of thing.
Yeah.
But someone who played the demo, it's like, okay, I get no, it's no problem. You're good.
It just somehow it's just like, there are holes in the paper.
It's literally, the plot is spaghetti.
It really is. And I don't think it's supposed to be. I don't think it's a statement.
I'm not sure. I'm so unsure because they seem to be really leaning into this is some weird time loop thing. Because you pick stuff up talking about the characters not having their memories.
If they try to make this like a thing where late game is like our story was presented in an incomprehensible way for that, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh, I'm sure
that's going to be what it is, because the very first thing when you hit start, the tutorial boss is against Tiamat.
God,
Like that's the tutorial of the game.
That's
is
the
fighting
other
Tiamat.
that's the other insane part of this opening. That's literally like jumping around the timeline 12 times before the game even begins.
Yeah, because that's insane. Because Tiamat in Final Fantasy 1 is like one of the last things you do in that game.
Yeah,
that's the last.
In this, it's the tutorial, and then as soon as you beat it, it cuts to Jack walking through a field, and My Way starts playing.
Fucking Sinatra song for anyone who didn't know.
Nothing happens. Then you just do the field tutorial like from Neo 2, like where you're in the grass field.
Yeah.
Now then you just do that. I have no idea why they played My Way. Then they just did.
Yeah, I'm sure that like this whole mess of a story is presented in this way because they think it's cool and that there's some higher thing to it. It's like, guys, make your story intelligible and also have a cool
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah,
you don't...
like they didn't need to start at Tiamat. They could have. They did. First of all, it's insane that it's just like maybe at some point it's like now you get to do the missions where you're fighting those monsters.
I mean,
that we literally did off screen.
One, that. Two, if you had budget and some directorial angle to this, right?
Yeah.
Use a crossfade between them talking to the king. One, show them talking to the king and him saying no, because it's insane that you can afford that. Two, do a crossfade between that and the boat and them coming back. That shows a passage of time and you can imply something. I don't know. But here's the thing. I'm sure none of you noticed this. And if I didn't point it out, I bet most of the people listening to this wouldn't have noticed this. These cutscenes are in-engine and weirdly low budget. And one of the first cutscenes in the game, the ground is melting in the background.
No. Some of these cutscenes are pre-rendered because the hair looks
no,
almost
they are MP4s, but they are in engine. They rendered low quality, ass looking MPEG-4 files.
Yeah, no, I really noticed when you walked through that field and it was literally just goo. Like the field of grass was just, the cameras whipping around and everything was goo.
But yeah, when we get to the entrance with the three dudes, the bros, right? It cuts to a shot of Jack looking back. Then it cuts to them. And when it cuts to a slightly wider shot of Jack, if you look at the ground behind him, it is rippling and melting. And I'm like, what is happening?
The ground, it doesn't have memories of it being ground.
Unfortunately, we recorded this initially from a much wider shot, and we punched in and posted. As it turns out, the quality settings on this is a Final Fantasy 14 server we're running. Anyways, because there are also cutscenes that are really hyper short vignettes. For example, you go to stay at that place.
Oh yeah, Jack goes to the inn and the guy knows him there, and it's like supposed to be a whole thing, I think.
It's like one of the shortest cutscenes ever, and the fact they showed it was more confusing than them showing nothing.
Yes.
And it was so insanely low budget, and it was terribly written.
Right. That's the weird thing. It's like a combination of it doesn't come off is just a purely a story you can see. It comes off as they didn't have money.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely some kind of either they didn't give it enough money, or like Square Enix is like, no, we told you to ship now. We don't care that the pandemic happened. You're still shipping now.
So there, it's that other thing, but it also comes across as the Metal Gear Solid 4 problem of somebody wrote this, didn't see how the cutscene came out. Did you make the cutscene for the thing I wrote? Yes. Good. Then you did it correctly.
A little bit.
Yeah, this sounds like it's going to be the funnest nightmare I ever play. I cannot wait to play it.
I mean, yeah, I still really like the combat. I wish it didn't hitch bizarrely.
Yeah. It hitches bizarrely. I still am really not a fan of the way this game feels in general. Like it just something about your way your character moves in every single attack animation just doesn't feel like it has weight in a very strange way. It doesn't. I just, it's hard to describe, but it doesn't feel good.
Okay, I do understand the weight thing a little bit, where it's like even I did that tutorial again, so I was hitting the goblin, and you can like feel the greatsword hits, and it doesn't feel like say like Elden Ring when you hit with a sword normally. There's like a little bit of a feedback there that's happening that's not really happening in this, unless you do like the soul breaker thing where it's like you do the circle button parry. I feel like that has more impact than most like weapons in this.
And the other thing that when you're just using a weapon and say you run out of MP, you basically have no attacks. You have just the 3-hit combo and then a hold attack, and doesn't feel good.
Weapons have like, if you hold forward or back, it will do a different combo.
Yes, you can get minorly different things like that, but is it a full combo? Because what I experienced was just a single move, like say the katana, like hold back and attack, and you will do a back step attack where you like back away a little bit.
Well, with the katana, if you hold the button, you change stance. Your combo changes, I think.
Yeah, you change stance to get to do the couple things off of there, but it doesn't feel good. And also, there's that problem of visibility constantly, so it's rough.
Yeah, for me, if the performance of the game was better, and the writing in the first 10 minutes of the cutscene isn't literally Hall of Fame tier bad, I was gonna go through with picking this up, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. I'm just gonna see how it goes from other people playing it and stuff.
It'd be really funny if they just put out this demo and it's like, no, you don't actually carry over your progress. You just get some levels. We also cut out half of the cutscenes in it for no reason.
It would be really funny where if that would happen. I doubt it, but it would be so funny.
It would at least explain it.
Yeah, it would explain it all, what's happening.
Because Stranger of Paradise is truly the greatest mystery of 2022.
You guys don't understand. The demo was 35 gigs. We couldn't afford 400 megabytes for one cutscene here and there. That would make it sane.
I'm just like, well, it's a demo that they released for a Square game. Unfortunately, we had to make sure the game was bad.
Aww. Oh, the bland curse, the Babylon curse. Did Quiet Man have a demo? Let me go look.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like they wanted to surprise people with that one, but I don't know. Did
A Quiet Man demo.
Did you play anything else, Bob?
No, that was it.
Okay. Yeah, I already talked about Gran Turismo 7. KZ,
Yeah.
did you play anything else?
I kept playing Elden Ring and then I got the plat.
Cool.
That's an actual easy plat to get. It's kind of funny.
Weird.
Like I finished that game and the remaining trophies left were all the named bosses that they consider worth being a trophy, which I just respect the most broken build in the game that people talked about on the internet, and it was very easy to just knock some of that stuff out. And then it was all the collectible stuff are the legendary tiered items that they consider in that game, and there's like 7 per category, like 7 legendary talismans or 7 ashes and whatever. And there were seemingly like only 2 or 3 things that were missable. And I just booted up New Game Plus and I got to a late game area in 90 minutes. Because you can beeline for the main objective stuff in that game.
Right.
Like within 90 minutes, I was in the capital location, just getting stuff done. So that felt really good to just knock out a plat on that. Thoroughly enjoyed my time there. Then I did that GT7 stuff, which we talked about. So the other game that I played a little bit of was Triangle Strategy, the immaculately titled game, because I don't know what's going on over there that they keep doing this.
I gotta ask you, man, how's the shit piss?
Yeah, that's all. That everyone comes in, they're like, "How's the shit piss war? Are you committing war crimes?
Are you committing war crimes? Are you committing shit piss crimes?
Yes. I also earlier retweeted my favorite thing on the HD2D title generator that someone made, Project Hot Dog Decryption, where they just picked stuff because it makes just as much sense as this game's title.
That's pretty good.
So this is a tactics game. It's doing that HD 2D sprite art style where it's mixing that with like almost pop-up book like 3D models of like houses and trees and other stuff. This is game's like really stellar so far. Pretty basic like premise of like, oh, okay, you're getting married to this girl from another nation. It's gonna help like peace related stuff going on there. They have a lot of different cutscenes that can play. Some of them on the map are like sub-events, so you can just mouse over to them, and then it just shows you a scene of characters talking about the current situation that they're going through, and this character's scheming over this. And one detail I like about the game is once a character is named, you can hit the X button, and it'll show you a full piece of drawn art of the character that isn't the sprite. and every character that is a bad guy is drawn like a rat. Or this most evil looking person that's sneering at you that I'm like, I don't need to ever see a piece of dialogue to know that they're evil. And there's so many of them. It's like it's the highest concentration of anime Jafars I've ever seen.
Just everybody is that guy from the fucking Two Towers who sat behind the king going, "Nyeh, eh."
The villains are a group of people with purple hair, and the main one is dressed like Dracula. And his name is Gustadolf. It is insane. And it's just like a thing of, oh no, this marriage isn't going to go well because the peace treaty's getting cut, and this group's going to try and invade the other one, and that type of stuff. And some like political stuff is going on where it's like salt is incredibly valuable, and so is iron, and there are wars over it. The game bounces between a lot of like story sequences of just characters like talking and stuff to sometimes you can run around an area and talk to your party members, and then you'll get like information on stuff. So it'll be like, you learn more about this thing, or this thing happening in this kingdom, or you'll get dialogue choices, and then a little scale thing will pop up saying that like your conviction has been updated. So, like, people will kind of know what your personality type is based on certain choices. And eventually you'll reach, like, this fork where the first one you get in the game is, all right, we've established some stuff. Some of the group wants to go to this nation in the south. Some want to go the one in the north. And you can talk to them and influence them to basically force your way to going where you want. And you do a mix of information you've gained before this point and stuff you get there, and then you have to use dialogue choices to convince them. And some of them are locked unless you do a certain thing to unlock them, and sometimes that unlocked one isn't the right answer either. You kind of have to base on a good argument that they would be into to take them to your side. And at the end, they do a vote on this magical set of scales that is 3 scales.
Oh, it's like a triangle.
Yeah, like a triangle. And then the choice is made, and then the one that's heavier that wins catches on fire, and then they're like, okay, you will do this. So I chose to go to the capital of the north where the clearly evil people are, and it's just a completely separate strain of story where they called that chapter 3 part 2 because part 1 would have been you doing the other one, and you just never do that other one, and that means you get a completely new unique unit. A completely unique story for that chapter, and you get a little bit more texture to some of those characters and learn different things. But then they have main chapters that don't have forks in them that are just playing out the story that they're going for. I think that's really unique in the fact that if it's completely unique content that you're experiencing through that. I saw that in the demo, but it was nice to see that here. That was a bit less obviously this is the evil choice type of stuff, because in that one is, will you sell out this character you're friends with so that they will die? And it's like, I know I'm gonna get to that choice eventually, and that one just led to you, it's like you're doing a completely different combat map that's real bad now. It's much more difficult because you clearly chose a fucked up choice here, but it was nice to see them have an effect. The gameplay is really solid. It's tactics gameplay. You're going in, your back attacks will always guarantee a crit if you have someone on the opposite side of the enemy, so you hit them in the back and they're standing near their front, they will immediately do a follow-up every time. So you could do both turns in a row and do 4 hits effectively. You have a stealth character that's allowed to take 2 actions instead of 1, so that's really good. So if you move them in place, they can do 2 attacks, or they can enter a stealth mode. You got cavalry units, all of that general stuff, and some other quirks. If you're if you're up higher elevation, you deal more damage and stuff like that. And it generally feels good. You can also hold the R button to speed up combat at any time, so you can kind of speed through battles pretty easily. The game has this format where you do the story battle. And if you're not strong enough for it, and say I'm doing really bad, and I'm clearly going to lose, I can go and select retreat, and they go, okay, we will bring you back to before this battle started. You'll lose your progress on this battle. but you're going to keep your experience. And I'm like, what? I can just like keep doing it and keep getting stronger. And they're like, yeah. So that's just a mechanic the game has. I really appreciate that as like an option if I want to get out. And you can also go to your camp to prep. And this is where you can like prep different systems in the game. Like you want to upgrade your weapon to deal more damage and stuff. But you can also do mock battles. And this is like your free battle mode so that you can get more experience and stuff there, because they kind of jump a couple of levels between battles sometimes. So you'll need to do some free battles alongside the story ones. And overall, it seems pretty okay. I haven't gotten a good reference of like how grindy it may end up being, but so far the battles are like pretty quick, get in, get out type of affairs, and the map design seems pretty varied. There's also like status effects on the map where it's like if there's like snow on an area and you cast a fire spell, it creates puddles that make it so that lightning can do chain lightning damage on it.
Nice.
And stuff like that. Or it's like, and they have different elements for all of that, for like spells and different stuff. So there's a lot of tactical stuff going on with it that I think is really, really satisfying. You're pretty consistently learning new moves, whether it's like buffs, debuffs, various other things. And I've gotten little interactions when certain characters are next to each other, where they make various like comments, or as the battle's progressing, they're like, all right, we're halfway through this. We've got this thing.
I'm surprised to hear you say it. Relatively short battles. I feel like this genre is known for incredibly long battles.
I mean, I'm early game. Honestly, I've only done 3 or 4 story battles so far. So I just meant it's like when you're just going through it's not too bad at the beginning, especially these. I'm also taking in effect the free battles that you can do that are very much designed to let you level. Uh-huh. So they're like very small maps that are congested of like, take these out. This one's going to teach you about pincer attacks. This one is going to teach you about mages that stay in the back. The longest battle I feel like I've dealt with is maybe 15 minutes. It's nothing too bad, but I can see they're definitely trying to start adding depth to these types of scenarios, where the one that I just recently did that I need to level up a little bit for is this character cannot die. You need to get to the other side of the map. Here are the spots where enemies are going to have reinforcements pop up, and it's kind of like this gauntlet that you have to deal with of moving them, but also not overextending with a couple of people, because then reinforcements will pop in and gank them. But yeah, this is really good. Performance-wise, it's a little bit mixed, where if you zoom it out, you can kind of see the game slightly get a little bit worse looking. I don't really feel a need to zoom out much at all anyway. And stuff like the battle start screen just runs at 20. Like the text. Just the text. I don't know why.
That's the range.
It's too fancy.
Yeah, it's too fancy. There's certain things where it's like you've hit the switch on its limits for this, which doesn't seem like it makes very much sense. There's a lot of visual stuff that this specific team does with HD 2D that makes it look worse than all the other HD 2D games that are about to come out. Like Live Alive and stuff, where they're like, we want intense dark vignetting around the entire screen, where it's like the corners are black, and we put depth of field so parts of the screen with other sprites in the back are just blurred to do an effect. And before I even started the game, I just turned those off, and the game immediately just looks better.
Cool.
I was really relieved that they did that, because it kind of it feels like they took a game and an aesthetic that already looks good and went, there are so many post-processing things our engine can do.
Yeah.
We're going to apply all of them. And it doesn't necessarily like work for it, but once you turn those off, it generally is a lot better.
I can't remember who's making this. Is it the guys who made this engine?
I think it's still
like
Unreal.
Octopath.
Yeah, I think it's a fork of Unreal, but yeah, this is I think it's Acquire.
Okay, yeah. So those are the guys who did the first one of these.
Oh yeah, this is miles away better than that, because the Octopath has like almost no story in it. It's like, here's 8 solo stories, but as you get party members, they don't have an effect on the story except for skits that are unvoiced that have different combos. And it's a story with characters in it, fully voice acted. It's just really solid. The pace of the game's like really they did the small things that you would need in a game like this in terms of like game speed and tempo that I feel like are really important. They can get me into like wanting to spam battles and get better and do that type of thing. And something that I feel like certain games mess up, the auto advance in this is pretty good. Where it's like, sometimes I feel like a voiced scene they'll read the line and they'll wait just too long.
Yeah.
Before go. This one, it's pitch perfect.
Cool.
Which I feel like a lot of games really mess that up. This game's really nailing it. I definitely recommend it. If people want to wait, I guess, like 6 months or a year from now when it gets ported to other things, I guess it's fine. But as it is now, it's not a game where it being at 30 with some dips for certain specific fringe cases is at all hurting me in any way.
That's unacceptable. Final Fantasy Tactics never had slowdowns.
Yeah. No point am I like, oh no, this is hurting my overall experience. I feel like it's really good where I can recommend it with no real buts involved in it. But I'm pretty happy with it. I'm about 6 or 7 hours in now. I'm gonna try and chip away as much as I can before Stranger of Paradise comes out, and I can find the true peak of all storytelling. And we'll see how that goes. But that's all I ended up playing this week.
Okay. Feel?
All I played was Elden Ring, and we already talked about it. Oh, also the demo for Stranger of Paradise, and we already talked about that. So
I guess it's time to talk about the Podlords.
oh shit.
Sorry it took us so long to get here, Podlords.
They're like, we're not in the car. The AC isn't on.
Your favorite song is not
I hate
playing.
this song.
Yeah, it's fine. Stop playing Kids Bop.
They're just playing that Eve 6 song that I played for you two earlier this week, where I was like, you know this song? I never heard of this band, but this song was playing all the time in the 90s.
I figured it was just going to be My Way, just on loop.
Yeah, the Podlords are real Sinatra heads.
Yes.
I promise not to put Frank Sinatra into this podcast.
Please don't. It'll get claimed.
I would rather not get claimed.
Yeah, I'd rather not lay a bomb.
This song's 800 years old, but copyright isn't real.
You know what is real, though? That's right, the Podlords.
Okay.
Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles. Pokemon and Digimon are pretty great, but the true GOAT is Spectrobes.
That looks like a Yokai Watch design.
It does.
Oh my god, don't. Fuck Spectrum.
Talk about Yokai Watch?
No, fucking Spectrums. Fucking DS ass. They're like, our encounters are little purple tornadoes.
Square Enix release games outside of 2022 challenge.
No, we will release them all. We're not even looking at half of these.
Yeah, you really should have like delayed half of these to next year
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong, man.
when they could be done.
Red Blaze 27. Inescapable Conical Juicifrost. Suzushiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Gato. Sprigatito Evolution Finale.
Ugh.
Why you gotta do that?
Rado. 101 Shades of All I Ever Wanted Was Another Cool Platinum Action Game, for fuck's sake, remastered.
I'm sorry.
You wasted all that talent there.
It's WTF Spider-Man. Mister, I like spam. One last chaos check in before Stranger of Paradise comes out.
Hell yeah.
DFW 3K. Muckbun. Me from the truck window watching people vote for OG Gen 1 Pokemon.
My God. No.
What?
Yes, it could be on the Famicom. Do it.
Kristen. Oh, hi Bob Video Games. Huge fan. Can I have your dies? Bayonetta 3 Steam Deck Edition. I'm just reading the title. You don't get the image because you know.
Oh, shit.
If this changes while you're recording, Dan, I'm sorry. I'm just so busy. Anyways, video games are cool. Have a good one.
Well, they know now.
They know. They knew.
Come on, guys. Wednesdays. Do it on Wednesdays.
Fucking losing it.
Uh-oh.
Kyle Bjork. No, I was losing it over that.
Okay. I was like, what the hell's Kyle Bjork gonna do? They're nothing but well-behaved.
Level 40, and still haven't gone through the Storm Veil. Elden Ring Raw. Matty Mo forgot to change his name and must wear the clown pants.
Honk honk.
Iron Aggro. Blig de Blue. Schligda's Poo. Current gen Protag Carl says, "Hey baby, I noticed you ain't got no Elden Ring on your finger."
Oh no, that's horrifying.
God.
Thank you, Adult Swim, for tweeting this.
Carl is clearly dying.
Yeah, he's an Elden
He
Ring.
has the Scarlet Rot.
Yeah,
He's stuck in Caelid right now. He is going to die.
Also known as Florida.
Frylock's like, yeah, that looks infected.
No, I'm imagining Frylock the Grafted, and I'm just dying.
Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. BN12. Batman was interviewed by one of the newest HoloLive members, Laplace, a smug girl who is the leader of a secret organization.
Oh my fucking god.
Is this real? Did Robert Pattinson actually do an interview with a VTuber? I have no idea what's real and what isn't considered revolving around that fucking movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly, yes. It is like this psycho dimension. It's like when you touch that fucking frog in Futurama.
But everybody who comes out of it is like, yeah, that's the best Batman movie ever made. What? What the fuck do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm not going
I
into
don't
a
know.
theater. There's a plague.
I don't know, because so many people like Batman 84.
Yeah, I've
Or
seen it.
whatever
I've
it
seen
is.
every Batman. I don't doubt that that one could be the best ever. Jordan, nothing will forestall his return. Cooper Tank. Sir, do you want help or no? The world is fucked. Let's just get some pizza and pretend it's the 90s again, cause I don't want to deal with this.
Pizza time.
It's pizza time.
That is sadly the marketing strategy of every giant corporation at the moment.
AG's Bird Facts. No, Lost Ark, this is not a crane. Flamingos are not even in the same family. They are storks.
I mean, Flamingo's pretty cool though. I mean, you should probably. It's fine.
Did
They get him in
you,
the game.
Did you know that? Did you know that flamingos are actually white? The white, if they eat something different, the only reason they're pink is because of the diet that they have in their natural habitat.
Wow.
Huh.
Now are you going to teach us about farm-fed shrimp versus...
No.
Oh, damn.
Why would they call it a crane?
By the time this BTD is recorded, Urameshi Trev will have turned 22. Well, you know what that means, right? It's the second year you can drink. You drink twice as much as last year.
Don't tell him that, Jesus.
You know, on your 21st birthday, they say you should do 21 shots. That means on your 22nd birthday, you need to do 44 shots.
Yeah!
Do not do this.
Drive Type Cab. Zaciana. Mitzi. Love the Air Tree Great Shield glitch, where if you're on fire or poisoned, you have no cost. Holy shield gun. Not sorry, FromSoft.
I love breaking that game in half.
Oh, you can poison yourself, too. So it could just be like, no, I'm just going to destroy you.
Nice. Indigo Sykes. Gaijin. Pokedex voice. It makes an inescapable conical pit and lies in wait at the bottom for prey to come tumbling down.
Please explain this.
I will after the Pod Lords.
Is it cone shaped or is it a cylinder?
Or is it a bowl?
Oh, it's a
Or is it a
bowl.
bowl? We don't know. It could be anything. A raccoon very happy that JoJo's All-Star Battle is getting an update that is coming to modern systems.
Yeah, they're gonna make it a real game too.
Hell yeah.
Best kind of update. I got sick, ho. No funnies this time, he ho.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Get better soon. Shinji 16 is hype for Lovely Transpop, a music game charity marathon on March 19th being run by Sarianosaurus. Still a good name.
That's a dinosaur.
Can't think of a bit, so look at my ferret. Hell yes!
Look at that ferret!
Thank you.
So sleepy.
I have not seen a ferret in a while, so I'm unreasonably hyped up about
No,
it.
this rules. I'm about to start 4K ferrets. Virnvarm. Bruh.
You gotta stop doing this. They said they wouldn't show it till spring. Spring is in for another week.
Etchia sketch. Re-listen to the Tim and Eric Curse content club, so now I become a podlord in penance.
Oh man, the Pope for bestowing us the Elden Ring.
God, please don't make me remember that fucking movie.
Oh man.
Lane's World 25. The Hard M. And Sarlene. Thank you very much to our podlord.
Thank you.
Synchropod Lord.
Thank you, Podlords. If you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you have access to many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo. Oh, wait, that one's over.
Yeah,
early
oh my
access
God.
to Chugging Bleach,
And
our
chugging
Bleach
bleach.
review podcast, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions, and a Patreon exclusive show, one per month, where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch. Sometimes you think it'll be all bad, but then you give us Darkman, which is actually very good. That's patreon.com/gbpodcasts. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us out by telling your friends. And if you don't have any friends, I don't know, I have nothing for you. I have to work out.
If you don't have any friends, buy some ad space.
Patreon.com/gbpodcast.
you know, we would never have to have Phil redo the ad read if we just start Mondo Cool all over.
Oh, God.
Let's not.
Yeah, I'd kill myself.
I wouldn't have to wash my hands all the time if I stuck my hand in a blender, said Casey.
That's true.
Oh, I just thought you were gonna say if I just have this portable sink where my hands are just in the sink all the time.
Then they get all wrinkly, and that would be its own problem.
Oh man, I got that Horizon wrinkle tech.
Okay, so I started losing at gathering podlords because, these things, they come and go in my memory. And I already forgot the catastrophic, hilarious failure that was us live workshopping a bit I had thought of well before Monday's Poke Monday stream, where I said, when we catch a new Pokemon, I should read every Pokedex entry ever for that Pokemon.
So smart.
So I read every Trapinch entry ever. And they cannot decide if it is a bowl-shaped hole, a conical hole, or a funnel hole. And they just change it at random for years.
This is the greatest, dude. That's the best thing ever. Because the Pokedex entries, I'm pretty sure, cannot tell you whether or not execute is eggs or seeds.
This was bad because they had almost nothing to say about Trapinch except the hole. So every single entry was that.
Yeah, it was just, here's a hole.
2 fingers, but whole.
By the way, as a bonus for us, but maybe not the audience, that's what Adam's image is. This is a pretty good image. I wish it was up Wednesday. See you next week, image.
Yep.
So we've got news.
Sure.
By the way, we're going to do that bit, but we're going to make it like high-level channel points or money reward because, oh my God, that destroyed my throat.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Dan, read these paragraphs of text. They're almost all the same sentence.
but it's pretty good.
Yeah, that was dire
hilarious.
because I remember that there are Pokemon entries where it's different every time. You learn new things.
Yes.
Trapinch is not one of them apparently.
Evidently, Trapinch is the ultimate life form and has not changed ever.
Hey, you've learned about different holes.
Or the same hole. It's really unclear.
Yep.
It's inescapable. That's all we've really learned.
That's all we figured out. So I'm going to bust through some news real quick.
Yep.
Firstly, there are people on Twitter coming out saying, so far one confirmed case. The Analog Pocket's screen falls off because it gets too hot and the adhesive melts. Did you see this, Bob?
Yeah, I saw that. It's so bad.
That's insane.
And then I also saw the part of that tweet posting. It was like, I've been trying to contact your support for a month.
Yeah, so when I told people for a year before this thing finally went up for pre-order and then came out and everything, like it went up for pre-order and then there was a good year, 2 years, that something would be wrong with this and we could not predict it. Well, there we go. we found out what the mystery problem was.
It just falls right apart.
And then I told you, imagine it wasn't a niche thing, and imagine it was the Steam Deck doing that.
I know, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way they would get away with that. This next news article I put in here because I honestly see this as one of those things of people going, why didn't you bring it up? It's really bizarre. Apparently, the Justice Department is investigating 3 different men at Microsoft who committed seemingly insider trading right before the announcement of the Activision acquisition. One of the people was quoted as saying it was a lucky bet and insisted they were not acting on insider information.
Yeah, they also said it was like people that were close to Bobby Kotick. So it's like they extra were plugged in.
Yep. So that's the thing. This next one's really, really quick. Advance Wars is delayed. You can guess why.
Sad.
Yep.
Can't have shit in this house.
Can't have shit in this house.
Like, now so this year's Call of Duty is supposed to be was the new Modern Warfare like a remake of the first Modern Warfare, like the original Modern Warfare?
Only
Or is it
vaguely.
like a
Vaguely.
reimagining?
Like super yeah, reimagining is a much better way of putting it.
So this is going to be a reimagining of the Call of Duty that had the no Russian level.
Yeah.
This is also the last game also had a ton of stuff about Russia. There's no avoiding it for a sequel to that.
The way you described it to me, Bob, they rewrote parts of Modern Warfare to insert more Russians being evil in it.
Basically.
I mean, one of the controversies surrounding Modern Warfare 1 for the PS4 is that they basically blamed Russia for an American war crime.
yes.
Maybe that year that they're taking off will come sooner rather than later.
Who knows?
Maybe.
I have no idea. Whatever. It's not like it's going to come out on any system in their country. It's been really funny watching everyone go, we have stopped all business in that country. And then they're like,
That'll help.
Yes. Oh, man. I don't know. We mentioned that thing a long time ago, Phil. Something about if American television and entertainment didn't work so well, people would instantly overthrow the U.S. government. I feel like maybe there's a strategy here.
NCIS?
Yeah, yeah.
Do not want to overthrow the government for 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
It's the smartest thing Feels ever said.
That was pretty good. Let's see. I guess the only thing left under my news is the Apple stuff. I'm going to cover it really quick. Apple did an event. They talked about upcoming products. I will do this somewhat briefly. iPad Air. It is the Air-sized iPad. It is the size of Air. Anyways, it has the M1 chip. For people who don't know, M1 chip is the first Apple silicon stuff designed for like laptops and desktops, and it's a pretty baller chip. Bob's got what is your iPad, a Pro?
Yeah, I got the iPad Pro.
And he has the one with the M1, and that thing hauls ass.
It really does.
It's a really amazing chip. I actually have a laptop, one of the MacBook Airs that has that in it. It's ludicrously powerful.
Does this Air have I don't think it has the 120 hertz mode.
No.
Okay.
That is still a distinguishing factor between the iPad Air and the Pro.
Yeah, that's what pushed me over.
Yes. Because, man, that stuff looks really cool when you get the variable refresh rate and the 120 hertz. Looks really good. You sit here and you go, why would I need that much compute power in an iPad? and they start the trailer for this iPad by showing a chick at midnight in a playground playing Genshin Impact on a swing, and I lost it. I was like, yeah, that's a good use case right there.
Let's fucking go.
Nailed it.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to a fucking playground at night by myself and play Genshin Impact on a bright ass iPad.
And you just yell, I love Genshin Impact, Charlie.
The budget iPhone SE, has been updated with the latest chip and the latest high-end smart iPhone, which means later this year when all the Android phones come out, they will still not be as powerful as the budget iPhone, which is insane.
Seething.
This chip is insanely powerful. The budget iPhones, for anyone who doesn't know, the way they compromise, they have basically a slightly above 720p screen. They don't have the bezel-less design like a lot of smartphones do now. They do, however, have a home button, which I really fucking miss. And it's an LCD. So that's the way it's budget. And also the backside doesn't have multiple lenses. It just has the one. But I'm pretty sure they did improve this to be a slightly better lens. I think they raised the price from $400 to $429. The chips and everything inside is absolutely fucking nuts, though. So that's cool. For people who don't know, I used a lot of SEs over the years. Currently, I am actually on a monthly pay plan for a phone because I wanted a ridiculously good camera to take pictures of Banny. It seems like everyone agrees with that decision based on Twitter metrics.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is the first time in a really long time I've had one. In between, I used a lot of like iPhone SEs and like prepaid iPhones. The SEs are really good. Really good experience. There have been people who've pointed out some of the more budget Android phones, which I haven't seen the math myself. I haven't seen the numbers or models listed specifically, but they said they do have higher refresh rates, so that's another way this could lose out. Either way, Genshin Impact will haul ass on this.
Okay.
Because it's a 720p screen. Let's see. Let's get the other nonsense stuff out of the way. They have a monitor. I don't give a shit.
Okay, cool.
They're like, this is a monitor for professionals. Anyways, it has True Tone. And I said, oh, fuck you. For people who
Is that real?
so here's what True Tone is feel. There's a camera built into this monitor so it can see the color temperature of your room and then fuck up the colors to match your room.
So it's not real.
It is.
I mean, it sadly is real, but it does not. It offers no benefit. It only makes things bad.
It literally would make things worse if you're somebody trying to make graphic design and you want to make sure your colors are right.
That's insane. Why would that be on a monitor that's
Supposed to be for professionals.
yes.
For professionals.
It's a $1,600 monitor. That is not cheap by any means.
No.
I think it's 5K 60. They started talking, like, they already said that, and I was like, go fuck yourself. But then they started talking about it has an A13 chip built in. So I think that's the chip in your phone, Bob?
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like that. Why though?
I don't know.
It's not even.
I don't know. I don't know.
I also saw that the arm for it, like the stand, is
God.
not great.
Oh God, yeah. So they have a crappy stand, and then they have the fancier one that has like a neck where it can hinge.
Yeah, and it still is like I have more features on my stand. Why?
And I don't know how much oh God, I'm afraid to look it up. Hey Bob,
What's up?
you know what? I need to put a picture up so they can join in on the fun. Okay, it wouldn't be fair if only you and me get to guess. Let me find the. Okay, here we go. I can order that, and let's. I'm setting up. What do you mean they have nano texture glass for $300 more? You want me to pay $300 more on a $1,600 monitor so that way it doesn't have glare? Are you insane?
Yes.
Okay, so let me show you the picture, you guys. And just so the viewers get affected, if you could insert that for them, or Casey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the leftmost one is the basic monitor stand that you get if you buy the $1,600 monitor.
This sucks so bad. It doesn't rotate or swivel at all. It can turn up and down.
And guys,
This is really stupid looking.
here's the thing: the middle one's the optional one. Now I'm gonna have everyone else guess how much that costs. Guess how much this middle one that lets you pivot it up and down costs.
It still doesn't swivel. I bet it's $800.
KZ?
1,000.
Okay. Feel.
I'm gonna be slightly more rational and say 600.
It is $400 to make it that much slightly better at angling at your goddamn face.
But it looks premium.
Oh, it looks so premium. God, how stupid. Yeah, so that monitor, I don't give a shit. I don't know why anyone would. They talk about a new form factor of desktop, but they don't talk about the Mac Pro today. Generally speaking, Mac Pro is what people who are video professionals and other, I guess, workstation people would use in the past. So presumably in the future, there's some $12,000 Mac coming, or even more expensive, $30,000. Who fucking knows? But I'm going to talk about what they announced today. Basically, they took a Mac Mini, made it taller in an absolute brick shit house, and then they said, "Oh, that's the Mac Studio." It's a new thing. They put in the ultra high-end chips from the MacBook Pros last year. That is absolutely awesome for video professionals like myself. It's called that one was called the M1 Max. They put that in the baseline model for this Mac Studio, and then they announced, we have secretly snuck in a technology on the M1 Max that we did not reveal until now. It is called Ultra Fusion. Introducing the M1 Ultra. And I cackled. I lost it. I was like, what the hell is this DBZ shit?
Yeah, they literally taped two chips together.
It's so funny.
I can't believe it.
They literally have like the silicon equivalent of, we built tape into our chip to tape it together with the other chip.
It's got lock-on technology straight from Sega.
Yeah, the Sonic 3 and Knuckles of APUs over here.
Oh, let's go.
So this thing's insane. Like, absolutely ludicrous. Like, whips the shit out of a PS5 on paper. By a lot, actually. Because it's two M1 Maxes taped together. So what that gets you is 800 gigabytes per second speed of access to 128 gigs of RAM. So this seems like it would be an awesome thing for people who do 3D work. Maybe some people who do some really high-end audio stuff. Definitely an awesome thing for video editors because, you know, part of what makes this awesome is that it can decode and encode really high-quality video codecs super easily. Here's the thing. It's insane because it can't just be insanely powerful. It also needs to be insanely expensive. So the Mac Studio that has the M1 Max from the absolute high-end MacBook Pro last year is $2,000 at a base model. Only 32 gigs of RAM. That alone would actually make analog gaming a vastly easier series to make because of the video encoding powers. But that's not what they spent all day talking about. They spent all day talking about the M1 Ultra, which comes in at a baseline of $4,000. And that's not even the real one they talked about. You need to spend $1,000 more to get that one. So it's like $5,000.
What makes it the real one? Is it more RAM or something?
It's more cores.
Oh my God.
I didn't even get into the RAM thing. So the $2,000 M1 Max one I was talking about only has 32 gigs of RAM, which would be fine in my workflow, but for, you know, certain 3D artists and stuff, you need more RAM than that. I think this is, yeah, just cutting to my conclusions. I think if they made this much cheaper, this actually would cause the sea change I expect inevitably this stuff will cause to happen immediately, where you would see more people who work with 3D, you know, art and more people who work with video workflows sort of trending back towards Mac, because the performance you're going to get out of this is nuts. But since the price is also nuts, it doesn't immediately make sense for the majority of people. I know there are a lot of people this will make sense for, especially when that Blender update comes out later this year that makes it optimized for Apple Silicon.
I'm excited to see like Linus Tech Tips and other people doing videos on comparing the benchmarking this.
Yeah,
like, this will be insane.
I'm really sad that Gamers Nexus doesn't do any Apple content because
does he not?
No, they don't even do laptops. They just do desktop PCs. They've done a couple console videos, but that's it, right?
Right.
Because they're the best in the benchmarking biz. They're the best. I want to see them do some benchmarks on this. But yeah, I'm very excited for the benchmarks too. Because if even that 2000 model, which something I didn't bring up, which I guess I should, the power envelope on this is higher than the MacBook Pros from last year. So even with the same chips, it'll run better. Those already whipped ass compared to my insanely expensive PC, right?
Yeah, that's
video work.
That's a hilarious part. I was like, no, that thing last year already beat your full tower PC.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Absolute height of comedy.
I'm sorry.
I love the part where I built this right before that happened. It was a real rafflecopter.
What a jape.
It made me XD really hard. Rar awooga.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing's tiny. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's fucking small. It's so much smaller than a PS5 or a Series X.
It's like a hilarious little chunk thing, though. It's
Yeah,
like
it's a little chungy wungy.
Like, some dude went too hard on his like paperweight is kind of how it feels to me. Of just like, that's like 3 times as tall as you should make one of those. What are you doing?
it just makes me think of it's our what did they call the Macs that were kind of like this?
Oh, that was the old Mac Pro where it was a trash can.
No.
Okay.
Just the last gen of the Mac Mini.
Yeah.
It's like they just put another one on top of it.
It literally, yes.
It's very funny.
Yeah, no, it does totally look like that. I also saw people comparing it to, and I'm going to post this image in the big thing, but people can Google it. The Power Mac G4 Cube, which is ancient as hell. It's like 22 years old, but it is also just a metal cube lifted in the air by transparent plastic. Yeah, if this stuff wasn't insanely well performing, I wouldn't bring it up at all. But for video professionals like myself, even the baseline model of like the 2K one would make a lot of sense. And that's without even getting into power efficiency, because this thing takes like 60 watts or something. Whereas my PC takes way beyond that.
They need to get gaming stuff going on this.
Yes!
They need to do that so bad.
They really do, which is why I was like, I can't expect Gamers Nexus to cover this. It has no games.
Right? It would be disingenuous to their name.
It would just be confusing. People would buy it thinking it plays video games. But sadly, not even all the what was it? Not even all the Apple Arcade. Actually, it wasn't Apple Arcade. It was a Bloodstained. But not even all iOS games run on this.
Right.
Like, some devs go way out of their way to make sure you can't boot their iOS game on this.
It's real dumb, but yeah.
It sucks. It sucks really bad. But yeah, with the small footprint and the insane performance for video work, this, honestly, I'm pretty interested. I'm kind of looking around the place. I'm like, is there some old piece of equipment I can sell to get most of the price of this? Hello? Do I have an analog NT Mini hiding somewhere? Because, yeah, we sold one of those a couple years back because we weren't in love with how it looked. And the resale value was insane. It was like $1,300, $1,400, $1,700.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what that ended up being bought for. But, yeah, no, this is pretty neat. Best way to play Genshin Impact. Get your 5K fucking... I'm going to be honest, it probably still won't play it as well as the PS5, but who knows? I don't. We're going to move on, though. Let's move to Phil. Phil, you have some important news, huh?
So it is time, since the last World of Warcraft expansion was like 15 months ago, 16, a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're gonna reveal the new one in April.
Oh no.
They're also gonna reveal a Warcraft mobile game in May. So fucking good luck with that.
Me and Dan had the exact same reaction to this news, where I went, "What? What?" And then you did the exact same thing when I'm like, "You should see the shit he wrote."
It felt like somebody tripped me. I
You're like,
took
"What do
one
you
step
mean
into
they're
the news
revealing
document.
this?"
Did they announce that they were going to announce it? What?
Yes, they did. Yes, they announced they were
That's
going
so
to announce. They put out like They put out like an announcement roadmap. Oh my god. So, based on what I know, the jailer, the villain of World of Warcraft Shadowland, was actually doing everything to stop an even bigger, greater threat.
Oh my god, they
Of
suck
course.
so much.
which is probably something that the game has been hitting at for like 8 years, meaning Shadowlands was literally just a filler arc.
Ugh. A filler arc where they ruin a character. That's cool.
They ruined multiple characters.
Yeah, of course.
That's efficient.
It's just like that's the biggest one, and by the largest margin.
I'm interested in what the fuck it is, because like they went to the afterlife. Like, what do you do?
Space.
Like you,
Did they ever
you
gone
went
to
to the
space?
And technically, the Inferno
Kind
guys
of.
were guys from
Space-
space.
Yeah, space came to you and you killed every single enemy in space.
Oh,
Yeah.
Have you gone inside the
So
core of the
it's-
planet? And like,
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you've done that.
Oh, okay.
What everybody thinks it is, it's like, no, now we have to fight the Void Lords, which are like Nyarlathotep.
All right.
Like, and also I assume they're combining, they're going to combine the factions in this expansion because they have to. Like, you can't, the game can't keep working.
That's so depressing.
Do you want to spell
honestly-
out why? Because I feel like honestly, until you said it deliberately.
Okay, let me sit. Okay, so World of Warcraft has two factions: the Horde and the Alliance. The Horde is like orcs, the Tauren, which are the big monster Minotaur people, the trolls, goblins, the undead, and I think they added like 15 different new ones in one of the expansions. I don't fucking know. The Alliance has humans, dwarves, night elves, the Draenei, which are like holy demons, sort of, and the gnomes, and again a couple others. Because for various reasons, part of it is the Final Fantasy XIV Exodus. Part of it is just incompetence and like them really getting fucked over on the story side of things for a while, and various things. So the Alliance has fallen to like almost nobody. Like if you look at the first 100 clears of like the new raid tier, it's like 98% Horde guilds.
Jesus Christ.
So the problem, so it's like you can't, if you're on the Alliance, you like can't. First of all, you can't get PvP if you're Horde. If you're Horde, you're just never going to get PvP because there's not enough Alliance players to fill the opposite side. And if you're Alliance, you're going to have trouble finding groups for stuff. So they announced that they were beta testing just combining the two factions for like the group finders.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume they're going to have to do that for like in a story reason.
Yeah.
For this next expansion. Honestly, like if you were like, Phil, you are now in charge of World of Warcraft, I'd hit the reset button. I'd like write time travel into the story and undo like the last 5 expansions. Wait, 5. Let me think. I'd undo
8?
at least the last 2. I would probably undo like everything that happened after Wrath of the Lich King.
See, this makes a lot of sense because you can look at other successful like games as a service, and they did time travel to unbuy the content I bought, and it's gone now. So I think this is a pretty good decision on your part, Phil.
Either that or they need to do literally what Final Fantasy XIV did and said, the world ended. We remade like most of the content. This is now basically the sequel to that game.
So on paper, that sounds really good, but I have to wonder if people who are still sticking with WoW would absolutely hate that. If you're listening to this right now and you actually play WoW, let us know what you think in the comments, because I think it would be cool. But you have to be so far in.
I don't think, as long as they don't like reset. First of all, Dan, they've like squished your stats and squished your level so many times at this point. Like that also lost players. Like going from like you have 3 million health and are level 110 to going you have 60 health and are level you're level 60 and have 40,000 health.
Yeah.
Pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd be upset.
But I don't know, like who knows? Like they've like written themselves into a super corner where they've used every single thing from Warcraft 3 like 4 times Like they used up they killed they killed every single character they introduced in WoW that anybody liked.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went to the afterlife.
Yeah, that
So
does just feel like you've done everything.
Like it's and the afterlife sucks and is boring and is full of just reskins of shit you already had. So it's like an even worse version of Dragon Ball Super, where it's like, what else is in the multiverse? Oh, the same shit but bad.
It's Beerus, but he's fat.
Jesus.
So I am curious, like they have to do a saving throw. It can't just be continued escalation, because they know it's either that, it's either this is their last chance before, I'm sure. Like I'm 100% sure if Microsoft, if the buyout goes through, it's going to be like, you're free to play now. Start selling experience boosts and shit, motherfucker. Like you do not have enough subscribers for this to be worth it for us. We need to turn this ship around.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that situation. We're going to go to Bob now.
Sure.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
You got some news?
Yeah, they announced the Evo lineup, but maybe even more important than the lineup itself, they announced that there will be free water for all participants.
I'd fucking hope so.
That apparently has never been the case before.
Thank you, PlayStation, for
insane.
stepping in and giving us water.
Yeah.
Happy
Apparently,
Easter, PlayStation.
the new head of it was literally just came on stage, was like, yeah, no, you get a water bottle when you come in. It's refillable. We have water jugs all over the event.
All right.
I feel bad for them now. I feel so bad for them now.
Yeah, just a
off
reminder
that.
to anyone, this is in Las Vegas in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, and of course, the venue would probably charge them like $6+ for a
Right.
bottle. Because, it's a Vegas hotel. What do you expect? But the games they announced were going to be at EVO 2022. We're going to have Skullgirl, Second Encore.
Yay.
Yeah.
Woo. Tekken 7.
Cool.
Street Fighter 5.
Cool.
Last time.
Last time.
Yep.
KOF 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
I'm
Sure.
It
With
made me happy.
Announce
here.
a version with rollback.
Please.
Right, please.
Lab coat.
Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Cool.
Cool.
Guild Digger Strive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excited to see
Makes
it.
sense.
Melted Blood Type Lumina.
Can't believe this is happening.
Cultural reset.
Finally.
We won.
Finally.
The fact that it not only is it in, that I have to be reminded there was a new Melty Blood that came out.
And lastly, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Games sure cut Sony a check, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's modern fighting game, and there's not another big one I can think of, I guess.
Samurai Showdown?
I guess DNF Duel isn't going to come out on time.
No. They're doing the respectable thing and not putting a game into Evo that came out a couple weeks earlier.
Yeah, that always sucks.
They could put this is literally just Games cutting them a check.
Yeah.
And also them having a free slot because Nintendo's like, what do you mean Sony owns that now? Pull our shit out now.
Yeah, I'm glad that they announced it a few months ago of like, guys, they won't let us put Smash Bros in.
Yeah, that sucks.
Don't expect it. So that I'm glad that the expectations were tempered.
Yeah.
But it sucks that Nintendo did that. That's why.
Yeah. Whenever it's like a company is stepping in to stop something they're just going to play your game in a tournament. That
Yeah,
shit.
did you know that sells copies of your game?
Yeah.
No, we're no longer worried about that game, so we don't want to think about it. It's not in the current press cycle, so it's dead.
Yeah, it's development is finished, so it's dead now.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes Evo's been a little fucked up where they're like, cross tag isn't even out, but but we're gonna put it in here.
Oh,
but we're not gonna let Skullgirls in.
Yeah.
I remember those times they didn't let it in. It was really gross.
Yeah, there was a ton of different Evos that have come out with a game that's not even a month old.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, don't do that.
They used to have like a standard and like a rule set that they abided by, and then eventually they're like, Well, no, they just gave us some money, so
that sucks.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
You ever think about how like Mike Z and Mr. Wizard had that beef, and then both of them were sexual predators and got deleted from history?
It was kind of weird. He just said two names, and I couldn't hear either of them clearly. Just passed through me like the wind.
Do you want me to do anything to those names?
We're just going to move on. Bob, what's the next news?
Jeff Keighley announced that he will again produce Gamescom opening night live.
Okay.
August 23rd, live from Cologne, Germany.
So he's opened fire with both the Summer of Gaming and...
Yes. It's real. It's all happening.
I don't want 2022. I don't want 2022. I don't want it.
Dan,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that we're going to have another Summer of Gaming thing, and it's going to fucking suck, but I don't know. We'll get a couple games out of it.
And then my final piece of news.
Okay.
Overwatch 2 reemerged.
It did. It got scared of the other Overwatch like that came out this week.
So I'm going to make everyone in this call laugh.
Okay.
Bob, I didn't read your news.
No.
I thought you and Field just brought up Overwatch 2 out of nowhere at the same time.
No.
This is the most ridiculously implausible shit. What do you mean they're doing a beta?
Yeah, the beta, apparently the beta is starting like immediately for pros and people who work for Blizzard. Then in April, it's going to start becoming more open to people. You can go sign up for the beta now. They start the announcement video was literally an apology about being not uncommunicative for a year. They're separating the PvP from the PvE so that people can just play the PvP as soon as possible.
Interesting.
All the wording in this trailer confused me because I was like, but is it... You're acting as if this means the game that currently is out is going to be supported again, but you're calling it Overwatch 2. I'm confused.
That game's going to become Overwatch 2 based on the things they said a couple of years ago. I guess they're still sticking with it.
Yeah, I guess that's what's happening. It's just so weird to just put out a video or act like that's obviously what's happening when it's like, guys, last time we heard about this was before the pandemic. I don't remember. That was a decade ago.
Their statements on that were also pretty vague. I feel like they didn't make any clear-cut statements of Overwatch will become Overwatch 2. They made some statements that might have seemingly implied that or made you go, it'll be difficult to do what you're talking about unless.
Right, because there was stuff about, you can play Overwatch 1 and 2 players can play together in multiplayer.
Yeah, because the entire thing is the Overwatch 2 paid thing was all the co-op content and stuff. But then later they're like, yeah, we're making major changes to the PvP on a level to where it's like, oh, well, that's just what Overwatch is going to be now, where it's like 5v5 and completely changing cooldowns, where they're like, we're testing Reinhardt being able to do his hammer fire thing 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish that this video was more than 4 minutes because they have so much to say.
Yeah.
They can't say anything because everything's on fire. Like, this beta is only happening so people stop saying this game doesn't exist, and it still kind of doesn't exist because I don't think that PvE thing is ever happening.
Yeah, that honestly makes me more worried about the PvE. The fact they said they've divested them,
right?
So people could try the PvP sooner.
Once they delete Overwatch 1 and replace it with Overwatch 2, it's like, don't worry, guys. We're definitely gonna ship a disc with a story and presumably, like, what are you shipping that people are gonna give you $60 more for? A PvE system with cutscenes and stuff? I don't believe you're gonna make that.
I'm just like, man, their description of this is literally the plot the free guy, which is hilarious.
So here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna boot up Overwatch 2, okay?
Okay.
And everything you thought was impressive before is gonna fall to the wayside as this new villain who looks like a hairless gorilla will shit talk you and then kick you off of a tall building or bait you further into his giant ring-shaped spaceship. And 3 years from now, he'll get patched out of the game.
I was like, is this Gaul from Destiny 2?
I was like, is this Destiny 2 or is this Halo Infinite?
I know, that's also where I was getting scared.
I
They're
don't know.
excited to see what happens to that dude in Halo Infinite 3 years from now.
I was like, is this Destiny 2? No, it's Halo Infinite. And then you said deleting it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's both because they're both the same guy. I'm very excited to see any of this game next month.
Yeah, I want Overwatch to become a game again.
Yeah,
It's so weird. When Overwatch came out, there was so much excitement, and then they did some events, and everyone went, "Cool, just do a cool co-op." And they're like, "We will."
Okay, well, if you're not going to do that, at least keep updating this game. Oh, well,
We added a character.
bye.
we're not. They weren't even doing that anymore. They're like, here's a couple of cosmetics.
Yeah, no, they stopped doing the new character shit. God, is it 2 or 3 years at this point?
Yeah, it feels like the support for this game completely dropped out 2 years ago.
I feel like it's been over 2
And
years.
since then, they did the update where it's like, okay, select what your role is before you even search for a room. I'm like, come on, dude.
And it's like, okay, I'll pick damage.
Yep, you sure would. It's so unfortunate. The rigidity in that system now is just ugh. If I wanted that, I'd be playing the actual ranked shit.
Yeah.
But you said
Right.
pros get to beta this next month, Bob?
The pros get the beta this month.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I got a platinum. I was platinum rank at one point. Can I get
No.
No. Oh.
No, people on the actual teams.
Oh,
I'm
that's-
sorry.
Oh.
No, it has to be like a real pro that that constantly gets suspended for being openly racist on the stream.
You have to have a bomb in a microchip in the base of your brain to get access to this beta.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't get access to this beta. KZ, can I get access to your news?
Sure. All right, we'll start with the stuff that isn't the big event thing.
Okay.
Oh no, the Skull and Bones Twitter account appeared before me saying, "What's up, guys?"
This walking skeleton just shook the dust off. It was like, hey, I'm still going.
The fucking government grants appeared and said, "Hey, apply for our insider program so that you can get exclusive early access to Skull and Bones content. Check stuff out." That's it.
That's absurd. Overwatch 2.
Like we've mentioned like 4 times. Remember that time Sinbad put out a press release saying, "Still alive. Keep me in your prayers, Sinbad."
Yeah, but I like Sinbad.
I liked Skull and Bones for a few minutes during 1E3.
Dude, Skull and Bones announcement is retro.
Yes. I'm streaming the announcement. It's retro. Put it under retro.
Yep.
Thank you.
We didn't get a trailer or anything for it, but they posted it out. Gotham Knights just got a release date for October 15th.
That's so weird. Like, why not just have it announced this when you have a trailer?
I don't know. That was weird.
I don't know.
It just seems random.
Yeah. My first thing writing it was, I sure hope nothing else comes out around it. In other news, Forspoken got delayed 5 months to October 11th, 4 days before Gotham Knights.
Wow, I've never seen a battle between 2 titans I didn't give a single shit about.
These Titans are really impressive. They're 8 feet.
Speaking of Forspoken, I have to use the gift of prophecy here.
Okay.
I'm going to predict that game's reception and its quality right now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. First of all, Forspoken will be a 7.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks 7 core.
Square Enix fans will say it's a 5.
Yeah.
And at least one review that gives it a 9 or a 10 will say they need to let these writers write Final Fantasy from now on. And people will get mad.
Yeah. All that seems plausible. Yeah.
All right. All right. This will get a 74. There will be a story bomb so pungent it's going to win a lot of awards from us. There's just going to be something in there that reviewers will miss somehow. That's truly, I don't know.
Whatever. End of the day, you get a water surfboard.
Yeah. Of course, there's going to be a bomb in there, and there's probably going to be stuff that's kind of lame. But Well, we'll talk about when it hits. But the gameplay they showed, I actually kind of thought looked cool.
There will be a lot of really terrible dialogue that was obviously written by Amy Hennig that Amy Hennig fans will insist was actually written by the Hollywood guy, even though it has her fingerprints all over it.
And then the Hollywood guys fans will insist Square Enix wrote it.
I think,
and then the Hollywood guys fans will be like, he wrote After Earth. There aren't any of those.
I like whenever that trailer's not talking and the game goes up 2.5 points.
It is funny how much it looks like Final Fantasy 15, though. It's just like, wow, look at that Final Fantasy 15 grass.
And rocks.
Look at the Final Fantasy 15 rocks, the magic effect.
It feels like every time the character talks in the Forspoken trailers, it's like everyone making fun of Sonic not shutting the fuck up during boost games.
Yeah.
Where he's like, whoa, yeah, that was a good flip. When he's doing
I
the
feel like
tricks.
it's extra.
It's
It
like
feels
Sonic
extra
Boom.
bad for Force. Yeah, it is.
Yum, 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 yum. Rings.
But it also feels like we're at the point where normal human beings are like, why aren't these characters shutting the fuck up?
Yeah, I heard there was a patch that made Aloy's talk about her stash less. And I was like, well, thank you. That wasn't a main problem, but at least...
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there was... Yeah.
Okay, there's a mechanic where you pick up too many of an item. Like, you can't hold it in your pouch, so it goes to her stash magically.
Oh.
And then she... Now, okay, that mechanic sounds sane, right, KZ?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, though. The way you experience this is you like, oh, I'm going to pick this thing up. And she goes, this'll be in my stash later. And she says this about fucking everything.
Dan? When he said stash...
Yeah.
I didn't think about a stash like that.
Yeah.
I thought about a mustache.
Ah, okay.
And then I imagined Aloy with Ted Lasso's mustache.
Yeah.
Not
okay.
not having a good time.
Ah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, she said that at least 60 times while we played that game.
Okay, cool.
Every time it got funnier.
Yep.
As we're just like, could you imagine walking up at a thing in your life and just going, this'll be in my bedroom later?
This is a hint. This is a clue that'll help us later on.
Pencil.
Glover's getting re-released on Steam.
Okay.
It's happening, I think, like next month.
Cool.
It's from Pico Interactive. Some people were like, "Oh, cool, it's Glover." This company apparently fucking sucks, and both heavily supports NFTs because people just saw them replying to people talking about how important NFTs are in every single way, and we need as many of them as possible. They're also against game preservation, where they apparently just buy IPs that have almost no value at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people are like, here's like this beta version of it, they're like, we'll sue you, take it down now.
Yeah, they do a lot of C&Ds.
Yeah, they just constantly do that. So there are plenty of posts just replying to all their tweets saying, don't support them in any way. Here's all the receipts for all the stupid shit they do.
Yeah, they need to stop doing stupid shit.
And by the way, their version of this game is running on Bleem.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this, but Bleem is a publisher on Steam right now, and they're just throwing fucking PS1 games up there, and some other games. But like 4D Winks is now on Steam and has been for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's been up for a while and it's been weird. And I think that was another Pico IP they nabbed.
Yeah,
I think
they do a lot of this.
I think that's specifically one of the cases of somebody finding a beta for it and they issued that C&D.
You can buy Mike Tyson's Power Punch 2, that terrible fucking NES game, for $7 on Steam.
Jesus Christ.
And the last bit of non-event news, this came from Deadline. God of War is in talks to get a TV series for Amazon Prime done by the showrunners for The Expanse.
The fuck is The Expanse?
Right?
That's like, it's an Amazon original space show that is getting a Telltale game or a Telltale-esque game that was shown at the Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. It's like those shows that appear and then disappear. It's like the Tomorrow War movie that Amazon did.
Okay. The Expanse started on Sci-Fi for 3 seasons, and then Amazon Prime nabbed the exclusivity after that.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
There are 6 seasons. Somehow 62 episodes, so these seasons are a very bizarre size.
Very, very light. Very light.
10, 13, 13, 10, 10, 6. Okay. All right.
That's how you can tell when it became a streaming show, when it dropped it down to like 6.
They're like, we'll just go back to the length of the first season, do some 10 episode long, 6. You get 6.
Well,
and
we
the show.
We needed to be a perfect crossover for like a month. Anyway, that's all the all that sober news. It's time to get cracked out. We got a PlayStation State of Play that happened this week. I rolled in pretty much everything in here. First up, we have Exo Primal, a brand new IP from Capcom, allegedly, coming in 2023, a 5v5 co-op PvP game with exosuits and dinosaurs.
This being PvP is the most worrying part of all of it.
Yes.
This blatantly being an idea for a new Dino Crisis, but not calling itself that is hilarious.
What are you talking about? Is it the dinosaurs or the girl with short red hair?
There is some sort of crisis involving dinosaurs. Obviously, dinosaurs are exploding from things. That's a crisis.
It is quite a crisis.
Capcom learned that if you want to do shit like this, just make it a new IP and people won't get as mad. Because now there's still the possibility of there being a real Dino Crisis game. If this was Dino Crisis, that would be zero chance of that ever.
Probably, yeah. Dino Crisis, based on other people I've heard play it, seen play it, and me playing it way back in the day, kind of bad. So I kind of don't care about Dino Crisis fans.
Yeah, I don't care about Dino Crisis, but if they were like, we're making a new Dino Crisis in the RE engine, and the same people involved in Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake are making it, be like, okay.
Yeah, because then it could be good.
Right.
Yeah, in this world, it's like, of course I want those fans to be happy, because currently Capcom's King God
output
shit
is
right
insane.
now. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, well, anything that goes through that door is gonna come out real different.
And even this has like an idea, like seeing 1 million raptors pile on the shield as the guy walks forward is neat.
Yeah, no, this seems cool. I'm actually
I
pretty
don't know if
optimistic.
the game will be good to play, but like I can get down for EDF with dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I'm really optimistic on this on PS5.
Yes.
Why would I ever even think about a PS4 ever again?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to see more.
Yeah, they dated that for next year. So, it's one of the things that's a bit far out. I like that they're just making more new IPs because they've been doing a lot of the same stuff. So it's nice that they're...
I wish they could come up with a name instead of
Exo Primal,
because that's like the worst.
Pragmata's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, Pragmata's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so worried about this because I was already like, if it was just a co-op thing, the 5 people against dinosaurs, I was like, well, that might be okay, like Lost Planet 2 and stuff.
Yeah,
it might be okay. But when it's versus 5 other players, that's where I'm like, this is gonna be trash.
Yeah. The way their press release, where it's like both teams are going for objectives related to stuff, and one of them, the way I read it, made it sound like there's a dinosaur payload.
Yeah, Capcom doesn't have the best PvP multiplayer track record.
Don't worry. Once Resistance comes out and it's the best video game you've ever played, it's all going to turn around.
Yeah, he means reverse.
Oh, Jesus. There's so many.
I know, right?
Fuck this company.
Operation Reverse
that still
Resistance.
isn't out yet.
Yeah, no, that got black bagged. We'll never see it again.
Yeah, every co-op thing they've done is
every co-op PvP
and PvP thing, because the other thing he was talking about, Resistance, along with Resident Evil 3, was terrible.
Oh yeah, it was that use the cars, you're the mastermind, Dead by Daylight esque thing.
Yeah, I don't know what they were.
That was a thing. I don't even.
Yeah, it came with Resident Evil 3. Nobody booted it. It was bad.
I'm scraping my brain pan. Is there anything here?
Do you think that even gets ported to the PS5 for the next gen upgrades?
No way.
Okay.
The developers of that are the ones that are making those upgrades.
Good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. They get to do something good.
Yeah. We got some Forspoken gameplay. They did a little trailer for it. There's also more extended gameplay the Game Informer got, showing off like 20 different magic types you can do in that game.
Oh, cool. I need to check that out.
Yeah.
Now that it's been delayed like 5 months, I'm actually feeling a lot better about it in general, and also the fact that team can't do good melee combat. I'm glad that this is seemingly a third-person shooter with magic, with traversal.
Yeah, I was going to say Forspoken actually got the Game Informer cover this month. It looks
did.
really good.
Yeah.
That was some awesome art.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that they had that like rap song. Like that gave me that gave me hope for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, because that was going to be like one of the most dire things of it. It's just going to be generic fantasy music, and that's not going to be exciting.
Yeah,
but if you do this, then I will be 100% down for it.
Yeah, but I have to have hope for it. But then there are other times like that FF15 launch trailer where they just played a rap song for no reason, where it's just Noctis driving a car and they're like, "This is life in the fast lane," and I'm like, "What are you doing? What is happening right now?" The traversal look cool. I like that when she's on water, she gets a cool surfboard made of water. Next up, Gundam Evolution. It's Overwatch with Gundams. They showed this recently. It's coming to PS4 and PS5 as well as I think PC. They're doing a network test in spring.
Cool. I want to see that.
I hear it's free to play.
That sounds cool. I would like to use Gundam Exia and do a cool alt.
I don't expect it to feel good, but I'll try it.
Right? It did look like it could be rough, but at least it has aimed down the sights, ADS. So that's something.
That
That's
is
anything
something
to get me feeling like a shooter might be okay.
Yeah. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection that was announced. It's coming this year. It's going to have 13 games. Some of them have online play. It's going to be $40. Digital Eclipse is doing this one.
Wanted to go down the list real quick.
Sure.
They have all 3 versions of Tournament Fighters.
Yes, they do.
That's the funniest shit in the world.
Why though?
Because it's the funniest shit in the world. That's it. That's the only reason I could think of.
Okay.
You think you would pick one version and go, that's the good one.
They're like all of it.
See, the cool thing is,
Yeah, why not have them all?
like I didn't realize the NES one existed for a really long time because it's one of the rarest NES games.
Huh.
What?
It came out really, really late for the NES. Like really late.
Oh, you mean one of the later NES ones, not the first NES one.
No.
Oh, Tournament Fighters.
on the
Fighter
NES.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Tournament Fighters on NES. That seems insane.
I'm like, the NES normal games can't be that rare. I own all 3. Wait, I own all of Mega Man. Like, come on, that's not a metric. Anyway, so they have the arcade version of the original arcade game. They have the arcade version of Turtles in Time. They have all 3 NES games and the Tournament Fighters, like I said. They have Turtles in Time on the SNES. They have Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis. They have all 3 Game Boy games, Fall of the Foot Clan, Back from the Sewers, and Radical Rescue. That is a pretty all right collection. I hope it feels good. Digital Eclipse.
Yeah, a few of those we're going to have online. I guess because of recent things they put out, I guess it may have rollback. I don't know.
Yeah. That would be good.
Were they the Castlevania collection?
No.
M2.
That was
did
M2. Yep.
It just fall into a hole.
But yeah, I'll be picking this up, so I'll let people know, at very least on the PS5, how it feels. I hope it's good.
Right.
I hope it's good. I actually really like those games. I'm not like a fanatic about the IP in general, but I do enjoy the video games.
Yeah.
And the movie, the first 2 movies are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those turtles.
Yeah.
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 I can't believe we're getting 2 different Turtles things this year.
It was surprising to see this get announced and not be right next to more info about that other turtle game.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you got those. They're trying to make a new movie right now. Helmed by Seth Rogen.
Okay, we need to move on. We just ruined everything.
Let's go on.
Okay, sorry about that. Gigabash, this is a kaiju game. It's coming to PS4 and 5 this year.
Okay.
Okay, good. I'm so glad no one has anything to say about it. JoJo All-Star Battle R is coming early fall to PS4 and 5. This is the PS3, like, 2.5D-esque fighter that they did, not the arena one that was slightly after it. It's gonna have 50 plus characters, re-recorded voices, because this came out when the only anime they had was part 2. And updated features, including air dashes and hit stop, to make it like a fighting game.
Sort of like a real game.
Yeah, apparently 10 of the characters are just new, because the original version only has 40, from what chat was telling
Yeah, it
me.
only had 40. They sadly removed Bao, which was the character from the thing Araki did before JoJo.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw people talking about someone being removed. I did not know where they were from.
Yeah, it makes sense they can add some more characters here, because since then, part 8 is entirely come and gone. So, we got that. Next up, Trek to Yomi came in. I do not remember anything from this trailer.
This looks really bad.
This was a thing where whenever these events happen, I just look into Bellion on Twitter and go through the list, and I very much considered not even writing it down.
It's black and white. It has Japanese voice actors, samurai stuff.
The animations look bad.
It does not look like an enjoyable game, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, this was I think shown at a Devolver show last year.
Yes.
And it has some prominent like Japanese VAs, but I recognize that name. You've been in a lot of stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
I like how they said this is going to be mainly focusing on Japanese titles. And they showed a variety of stuff. Like, I didn't even write it here. They showed more Ghostwire Tokyo, but it was more of just more of that.
Yeah.
But then they're like, we want Dan to win. Returnal Ascension was announced, a free update that is coming March 22nd, including campaign co-op and a single-player thing that is an endless tower mode, the Tower of Sisyphus.
Yeah.
Where you keep going up the tower, and then you'll fight a boss every now and then that'll keep getting more powerful. As based on the actual Tower of Sisyphus myth or whatever, where it's just like you can't do it. You can't get to the top. It's impossible, which I guess fits with how Returnal works. They showed like different weapon stuff as well. This seems great. I would like an endless mode for that.
Yeah, I really like. They seem to be implying there's a new ending in this update.
Yes. They said it was a new narrative, and I'm like, I would love a new narrative desperately for Returnal.
There are like more answers. And then they show some stuff from cutscene stuff that's clearly not in the game, and I'm like, ooh.
It looked like they were in a hotel or something, and there's like an elevator door opening or something.
Yes, I assume this tower has the hotel elevator in it. That's exciting. It's really exciting. Now I just need to find out how to pull a misery and get Maximilian Dude to play co-op with me.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's the only other number one stan of Returnal on the internet.
Yeah, I would love a mode of this, and they describe it. It seems like you might just like opt into it as a mode. Mm-hmm. And I would like something that starts off reasonable and then becomes unreasonable. And I'm like, I love this.
I love the co-op. It's just as a concept, because it's the thought of, like, as I keep saying, the number one advice for a successful Returnal run is chugging all of the poisons to hopefully come out of the other end strong as hell.
Yeah.
Or dying immediately. And it's just like, my partner's like, yeah, you really shouldn't drink that. And I'm like, I'll show you.
Yeah, Jesus. I like it. The first thing I said as soon as they showed the co-op, I'm like, hey, look, it's the way to make the second half of that game reasonable. All you had to do is have 2 people on the screen.
I do wonder if they're going to scale the difficulty at all if you have 2 people.
Right.
I have to wonder. I bet
It'd
they
be
won't.
funny if they do.
There's like,
It would be
it
funny.
doubles all the enemies.
And the game starts to really run like ass.
And now it's 720p. There's no fog anymore either. They closed with 2 more Square Enix announcements. The first one, the Diofield Chronicle, announced it's coming this year. This is like some real-time tactical-looking game. It's coming from Landcars. They made Monarch, that game that Phil said was bad and weird.
I mean, I said it was interesting, and then it came out that there were some whoopsie uh-ohs in the story regarding queer people, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it really came from Persona,
Yeah. Originally, Square Enix North America on the official website for the DioField Chronicle copied over Babylon's false data on it to make everyone think that Platinum was making this, and I almost had a
Me and Casey started stroking out.
Meanwhile, people in chat told us that this was being made by Platinum, and me and Bob were like, "Oh, cool! Glad that this game looks sober. I'm so happy for them." And then they came back later and said it was an oopsie. Platinum is not making a sober game. Please disregard.
This looks like a fucking Idea Factory game.
Yeah, honestly, the first thing I thought of was Natural Doctrine.
What the fuck is that?
It's a PS3 game no one's heard of.
That's not true, Bob. One guy in chat knew.
Yes.
This is like when Field.
It was published by Nippon Ichi Software America, so that makes sense.
This is like when Field listed the games that Landcars made and then said Lost Dimension, and I went, "Oh my god."
Oh, did they also make Lost Dimension?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Oh my god, everything I've seen from that's like a really bad tactic.
Dude, I played that. It's really bad.
I mean, it's like, here's our small Final Fantasy Tactics size map, but we're a real-time strategy thing with RPG characters, and you select like commands and queue them. It's like, ooh, this don't look so good, and then you find out, the person writing this did a bunch of shit for the really bad Fire Emblem games like Fates. And I'm like,
oh yeah, I liked reading things they did and giving Phil the information. I'm like, this is coming from the writer of Fire Emblem Awakening, and he just shriveled up like a raisin.
I'm
like,
actually.
that explains why the good guy country pops up, and under their emblem it says coexistence.
I actually, based on how the gameplay looks, pretty interested in this because it is real time. But the moment you pop up with like commands you want your troops to use, everything freezes and you select from a menu. Like, I'm always interested in turn-based strategy games that are also weird hybrids.
Yeah, I do like when you try to put different twists on some of that stuff.
But yeah, overall, I'm pretty optimistic about this. I want to see more. It is this year because, of course, it is.
Right, it's Square Enix game. It has to come out this year.
Yeah.
What was it also made me think of some Western turn-based games, kind of like Divinity. Like, that's kind of the feel I got from seeing that combat too.
Okay.
I like how someone was like, "Is it like Last Remnant?" And I'm like, "No, it's not Last Remnant."
No, not at all.
The director of that's directing 16, actually.
Oh, that's scary.
Last Remnant always seemed like a decent game that should not have been existed in 7th gen at all.
As it turns
even
out,
a little bit.
no game should have existed in 7th gen. But
At least there's a different combat director, because that had one of the most bafflingly bad just turn-based combat I've ever seen.
Wasn't Last Remnant the thing where you had like 85 characters and it's
Yes, it's like, here's your weird army.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Last Remnant guy's surrounded by most of the really good talent in that division. But
he's director because like Yoshi P's in charge, and he worked on all of 14.
Yeah. This looked okay. It looked like low rent, but I'm willing to like look at it more as it comes out. I just couldn't handle the idea of what the fuck. What do you mean? Why would Platinum? How do they do this? What?
Me and Dan
I was
both
just
thought
confused.
Earlier we thought that Exo Primal looked like a Platinum game in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, it did look like a Platinum game. Seeing that it's running on RE Engine kind of blew our mind.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
It does not look like any other RE Engine game.
It looked like Platinum, also like a Platinum, but what it really reminded me of was Binary Domain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
100%. I see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is really funny to say DioField looked low rent when the next game arrived.
Yeah, that's...
The environments in the next game are concerning for me as a fan of Valkyrie profile.
Yeah.
The last game they showed, Valkyrie Elysium, that's the 47th Square Enix game coming out in 2022. I thought that they were just trying to slip all of them out for the end of the fiscal year, but it turns out no, they're just releasing 40 games this year.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I'm super jazzed about that.
Maybe leave it in the oven longer. I'm sorry.
I mean, in the case of this, it looks rough in a number of ways.
It looks real rough.
Yeah, this is being developed by Soleil. So like Samurai Jack Battle Through Time.
And about 4 or 5 other games that are announced and coming out this and next year.
Yes.
Like Wanted Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Some samurai game, something called Revenge.
And this studio is the studio that was formerly Valhalla Studios, right, Bob?
Basically, it's a lot of people from there.
They also made Ninjala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Tencent owns them.
I'll have to trust you on that that is a real game.
Tencent bought them back in November.
Tencent owns them.
It's not a game called Tencent Ozens.
Yeah, I thought it was Tencent Onsen, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no, Tencent owns them. They bought them back in November. I forgot about the part where they
bought them.
I guess that explains how they have apparently infinite creative potential. They can make as many games as they want because they have infinite
They're
money.
like, hey, Square, can we make one of these?
And Square's like, sure, we're not doing anything.
Man, like, looking at this, I feel like I'm probably the only person on planet Earth who played Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria for any significant length of time.
Okay, you got rid of me with that last qualifier.
I mean, I play a few hours.
This footage really reminded me of it.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a PS2 game that was mostly like 2D. Like, it was 3D models, but like 80% of the areas were on a 2D plane to save money.
Yeah. It looked amazing, though. In fact, I will say outright, it looks better than this does.
Yeah,
I always thought it looked really strange back in the day.
I mean,
was
that's
like, wow,
probably
this looks
because
weird.
they slapped a bunch of processing effects on it. Like, it has more high-end visual effects than I think any other PS2 game ever. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know why this is like a 7th gen character model with a black outline on it.
Yeah,
I don't, it's untextured world almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really hope this gets delayed so they can put a little bit more time into it.
It just feels really mean because like Valkyrie Profile, to me, a lot of it is really strong art direction.
Yeah, okay, so here's a picture of a village from Valkyrie Profile 2. You can't convince me, because you're just blind, that does not look higher fidelity than the shit we saw in that trailer. Like that.
It does. No, it does.
Yeah, it just literally looks better modeled, better textured, and everything.
Like
it's a PS2
this game
game.
looks like PS3 Nier.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's so weird.
And it doesn't matter how bad it is, I still have to buy it, so they make another Valkyrie.
I know, right?
Right.
They have me by the nuts here.
At the very least, they got the original composer back as Sakuraba.
Yeah, they got Sakuraba.
Yep.
Which is exciting.
The combat looked like it might be neat. Maybe.
There's too much movement in the combat where somebody goes to do a move and then they shmove forward in a weird slidey way.
It looks like your like spirits this time are not party members but are like assists. So I imagine they probably just snap to any position they need to be to hit.
I assume that character at the end of the trailer is from one of the couple Valkyrie Profile games like the DS one that I didn't play.
I don't know because I was like, oh, it's gonna be Lenneth because like it had the blue boots, but then it's a totally new character, and I don't think they're in any of the others.
Well, it could be Lennis after a curse.
That's true.
That
the director of this, by the way, directed I think they directed Ninja Gaiden 2.
What?
Yeah, they were one of the directors on Ninja Gaiden 2 and also Ninja Gaiden 1.
Weird.
Yeah, that trailer
and also Dead or Alive 4.
Yeah, that trailer was cut in that way that even as someone as a layman can tell, it's like they cut it in a way that makes it feel like that last character was supposed to be a reveal of something.
Yes.
It's like when I watch other media where it's like they hang on something or they do it in a certain way, where it's like, oh, that character is apparently important.
It's obviously from the DS game.
Yeah, God, these environments.
Yeah, no,
Fucking
it's really dire looking. I don't know.
I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
But
well, the trailer that I'm looking at is 60 frames per second, so that helps at least.
Yeah.
I was talking to my stream, I think it was, where it was like about the amount of Square output that they're putting out.
Yeah.
And the last time they put out this many games,
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to guess the year?
2005.
It was directly before 7th Gen started. As soon as 7th Gen started, it fell out.
So 2005?
Yeah. No, it actually wasn't 7th Gen. It was right before 8th Gen started. My bad.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
2013?
Yeah, so
2012?
yeah.
Wow.
It's like people are saying 2012 was the last time they put out like over a dozen games like this in a year.
What fucking games did they ship in?
Did they do that one game, that Resonance of Fate? Is that them? Was that late that gen?
Yes, I think
I
that
thought-
was Square Enix.
I thought that was earlier
Because
that gen, though.
That was in 2010.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know that Final Fantasy 13 3 came out, and then like Bravely Default came out right on top of it and sold more. And that was part of the wow, Square Enix needs to get their shit together portal of that.
But yeah, I'm glad Valkyrie Profile's getting something, but
There's some environments in this trailer that look nice. Like there's a cutscene where she's in like a palace talking to a guy and has like a big rotating globe. So maybe it's just really unpolished and they did this trailer anyway because Square Enix doesn't seem to understand that that's not a good move.
There's no evidence of that.
Other than every single trailer they show almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope this is a situation very much unlike Stranger of Paradise, and they will continue to work on the assets, and things will change in the next 8 months or whatever it takes for this game to release.
I hope it gets delayed.
Yeah, that too.
yeah,
Which it might happen. That could always happen. I kind of expect this and Star Ocean, which is still supposed to come out this year, to get pushed.
you know, it's funny. Star Ocean looked like it had at least 20 times as much money in it.
Right.
I bet it does. Valkyrie has never fucking sold well.
That's unfortunate because that PS1 game is dope.
Yeah, part of it is because that PS1 game was like one of the rarest RPGs on PS1. I have never known somebody who had a physical copy of that.
Guess who did? Me.
Oh.
Actually, my brother.
Okay,
did.
I was
My
like-
brother did, to be fair.
I was like, didn't it belong to your brother?
Whatever, it's mine too. I mean, for most games, the problem was the cutoff was the PS1. Everything before the PS1, he's like, whatever, Daniel can have it. And then the PS1 happens, and he goes, no, Dan, you cannot have any of the Valkyrie Profile or Final Fantasies.
I collected PS1 RPGs, and then I sadly had to sell them all because of financial crises in my 20s.
Ugh.
But yeah, that was the one I could never find. Like I had every single other one almost. It's like I can't find it. I every time I go anywhere to visit anybody, I go to every used game store. I'm like, I cannot find it.
I think it's funny to be like, yeah, it's never sold well. It's like they've never tried.
Yeah,
I
feel like
but
it didn't get enough marketing.
That's like the paradox.
Yeah, it is the paradox.
Wasn't there a DS one that I
Yeah.
don't even remember at all?
Which is why I keep speculating this character's from that, because I'm like, I don't know anyone who played it.
Covenant of the Plum or something like that.
Plume. Yeah, something like that.
I have it on cartridge and just sitting in my room, and I've never played it.
Let me look at the characters to see if that character's in here.
But it's hilarious as it is. One of the things that got me excited about buying our first optical drive emulator for the PS1 so we could play rare games was Valkyrie Profile, and we have not booted that once on neither the PSIO or the X Station.
It's messed up, man.
Checks out.
And we're just gonna have to replace once Pokemon year is over. It's Valkyrie Profile year,
You know,
because it'll take that long.
they have been releasing demos for every one of the bad Square Enix games. So hopefully we get a demo of this and we get to know.
Hopefully we get a demo for this, and then we go, please, sir, kindly delay this and spend more money on it. And they go, okay. And then we all high five.
It's out in 2 weeks.
You know, Bob saying they hadn't really tried to promote it reminded me of the amount of people I've seen saying that they have not advertised Babylon's Fall enough when it was about to come
That's
out.
insane.
That's bullshit.
That's
That
insane.
game's
That was
an obvious,
Yeah,
dead fish. Come on.
I've seen it
not just
promoted.
that. They advert. People showed me pictures of bus stop ads. It was all over Twitch ads and YouTube ads. They had it at every show it could conceivably be at. Guys, they pushed this game. You just don't remember because your brain slides off it.
The weird thing about the Valkyrie thing is I'm not even talking about, they didn't push it enough when they did do it.
It's like, I said that, to be clear, because I feel like it didn't. But Bob, what were...
I was just saying, they did a PS1 game that hardly got a release. They did a PS2 game so late that no one cared. It was the PS2 is dead. And then they did a DS game after that was dead.
Yeah.
They've never had a game that just released while the thing was a real platform.
We're lucky, right, that the PS4 is back compat and that people are still on it and the PS5 is hard to get, because this will be the first time they release a game on a platform that's not completely dead.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this, please, all Japanese developers, please. I know that your focus group's full of morons, and the people in the Western media who are also full of morons tell you that your games can't look like anime because that's cringe. It's a million times easier to make a game that anime-style graphics scale up to 4K really well.
Yes.
Please just lean in that direction more than this realism direction that you do not have the time or money to do.
See, the funny thing is here, okay? I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I mean a lot of, man, her face looks fucking weird in this trailer. It's like hyper-realistic, almost baby face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's some official art for Valkyrie Profile 2. You tell me that doesn't look like the fucking face. I feel
that was the big thing, remembering like Valkyrie Profile 2's protagonist has a real weird face.
Yes.
But see, here's the thing. But the main character one didn't have a weird face, but there were characters in one who absolutely did.
And it was sprite based, and it didn't have to translate the weird face to 3D, which seems to, I think that's just a Tri-Ace thing, because I'm now picturing like the Star Ocean 6 protagonist, the Star Ocean 4 protagonist, the Star Ocean... the only one that was kind of normal was Star Ocean 3.
Wasn't it Resonance of Fate was the only time Tri-Ace has made a face that didn't look wrong?
Star Ocean 3, but that was much more anime styled.
It's like, even that's super hit or miss, because like, main character, fine. Main character love interest, horrifying.
I don't remember her at all.
She looks like a bug.
Yeah, there's some faces in Star Ocean 3 that I disagree with. I think that's the way to put it. In fact, I had this exact conversation a couple months ago on the Discord and posted just the thumbnail from a fucking long play, and it's like you can't. It's of the love interest. Here you go, KZ and Field. Look at her face. No.
What? Hey, she looks exactly like your character in Pokemon Sun and Moon.
She looks like a much more unsettling version.
Sure looks fucked up.
She looks like something I would make in the Elden Ring character creator to horrify.
She looks like the natural precursor to Limmel in Star Ocean 4, who is the little girl who's actually 25 because she saw hell and it froze her freezing. It froze her aging, and she also can't emote, who is also the main focus of the nappy time thing, which completely murdered the Star Ocean franchise in my mind.
Those were a lot of fucking words he just said. It felt like I was being set on fire.
It was all true, though.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Phil and I are soul-bound to this.
Okay,
I hope it's good.
I mean, it's also got the Ninja Gaiden 2 director. I guess I have to buy it.
And I just get to sit there going, oh, that's cool, I guess.
How's that going? And I'm like, well, it's not as bad as the ActRaiser remake. They didn't shove me into a weird strategy game for 2 hours.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I'm excited. I think tomorrow we get a Wanted Dead trailer.
That's great. Aside from that,
he's also directing that.
Cool.
Aside from that, wait, what do you mean he's also whatever? Aside from that,
yeah.
Hey Bob.
Hey, what's up?
What do we have going on in the next one?
I assume more God of Warch.
Oh, that's true.
Or Warch of War. I don't know how it is.
Also, we're starting our Pokemon first gen playthrough.
Oh yeah.
I haven't looked at the polls yet to see what won. It has been psychotically close the whole time. But the correct choice is Leaf Green because it has Staryu.
Yeah, that's true.
KZ, what do you have going on in the next week?
I'm gonna do a magical ritual to make podcasts not as long as this one,
Okay.
and playing video games.
Mr. Feel.
I started work again, so I'm bleeding.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I guess I'll play that Stranger in Paradise demo for 45 hours and hope it all carries over.
Yeah.
Also, context for our viewers who don't know this: Mr. Feel's job isn't a job; he just donates blood every day.
Yes, that's true. That's like, I'm sorry, I really like the oatmeal pies they give me, and what do you mean I can buy them?
He looks like an undead lich from Elden Ring.
Yeah, he looks like Carl. Yes. It's just the plasma. I don't need all the plasma.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or a podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.